Right, welcome, ladies and gentlemen. Pretty action-packed stream today. We've got 2 Rotten Tomatoes reveals. So, The Witcher Blood Origin. The reviews are awful. It's been completely
Surprise,
rejected.
surprise.
Exactly. Surprise, surprise. I mean, it's been rejected by the fans before it even came out, which, we can sort of talk about that. But mainly the critics hate it, which normally there's a disparity between the two. I don't think that'll be the case here. So that's fun to take a look at. Avatar, 2 stories about Avatar. So the Rotten Tomato score has been revealed. We'll just do a general roundup. But then also Weta Workshop, who was contracted to work on Avatar, The Way of Water, they're being absolutely slammed by VFX artists, which is not new. This is a long-running situation with the VFX industry, be it movies or games, but we are seeing it from one of the most prestigious, VFX houses out there. Also, want to take a look at Joker Folie à Deux. I've got a video coming out, on the main channel about that, but I want to sort of talk about that on a sort of a roundup. We also need to talk about John Krasinski apparently being a one and done on Reed Richards and how that's a huge misstep and just a bit of a waste, really. And we must talk about Patty Jenkins and the shit show that is essentially her career at this point. So a busy one. A busy one. Joined as always, we've got Paulie from the Latino Slant, my co-host with the most Latino hats.
I'd say co-host with the most
Maybe say most mustache
and Latino
mustache.
hats.
I love it. There we go. How you doing?
Man. Yeah, I'm great. I'm feeling good. I'm ready. I'm happy that Rings of Power got like 10 Golden Globe nominations. It's amazing.
Are you joking me? Did it actually?
Wait a minute. They got nothing.
Oh, I thought you actually being serious. Wow.
I don't even keep up with award shows anymore.
They did good shit. Yeah.
That's amazing considering they checked
That's
all
all
the
they
diversity
wanted.
boxes.
That's what they were gunning for. Was awards.
Yeah.
Not a single nom.
God, what a huge failure that is. Because I mean, this is the industry through and through at this point in time, isn't it? I mean, you've got studios and also the awards shows themselves putting in mandates where you have to literally check a box to even gain entry to, the criteria to be nominated for these awards. So a lot of these studios do all of that to try and appease the award shows. And normally this is at the expense of the fans, especially with respect to the Rings of Power. And then they didn't even get a nomination. I mean, what a slap in the face.
I mean, it is an award show, right? And
they're worthless.
And they're worthless. Yeah. It's not. There's no Ricky Gervais anymore. I'm not going to watch it. It's interesting to see what is getting nominated. A lot of films that we loved this year are actually getting nominated, so that's nice to see.
Yeah, interesting.
And that's really it. I did a little video, a little roundup on on some worthy people that were deserved it. But that's I'm not talking about their political leanings or anything. Just their work. So
yeah. Well, that's how a show or movie, whatever, should be, right? Like it should all just be based solely around the product itself. Is it good? Was the performances good, etc.
Yeah. It's just it's interesting to see, but it's like the chat is saying, it's just like need to get rid of these award shows, but that's never going to happen.
No, whether it's just an epic circle jerk of nonsense. It's a self-congratulatory jerk off for these, the people voting for it, as well as the people obviously winning the awards. And you're never going to get rid of it because it's hugely lucrative. I don't know how they are these days because they don't get views. No one's watching them, but they are hugely lucrative. I mean, I think it's even the membership alone is very expensive, to have a membership to the award show, also the awarding body of these things, which, pays for those massive goodie bags full of Rolexes and shit like that. I mean, it's just insane. Absolutely insane.
I think what's far more entertaining is watching channels like ours reacting after the fact. to all the bad speeches and the snubs and all that stuff, or even
Oh,
live
see,
play-by-play. The play-by-play.
I hate that
know?
term snub. I think that's definitely something which has been sort of co-opted by sore losers within the film industry these days. They were snubbed. They were snubbed because of goodness me, shut up, stop.
Yeah, I watch the
real
Game Awards, and that's about the only award show I watch every year. Is the
Nice.
Game Awards at the end of the
Well,
year.
the Game Awards is only good because of the new trailers.
Yeah.
And one of the only good ones that came out surrounding that recently was made by the people of BioShock. I can't remember the Judas. I think was that.
Yeah.
Judas.
Yeah.
And that looked interesting. It did look like a reskin of BioShock, though.
Yeah.
To some
I
degree.
thought we might get a Spider-Man 2 trailer during that, but we never got it. I was waiting on it though.
Yeah, disappointing.
Or Final Fantasy 7 Rebirth.
Yes, yeah. Speaking of other, I'm terrible with my segues today. Nick from Echo Base Networks joining us. How you doing?
Get your head in the game. Get your head in the game. Come on.
It's almost like a Monday today,
Yeah, it does feel like that.
Yeah,
it really does.
But yeah, I'm doing good. Like I was telling the guys behind the scene, just got Final Fantasy 7 Crisis Core on PS5. I've been playing today. I'll be playing it tonight. Me and Loki from Loki's Mornings of Mischief are going to be doing a review on that this weekend. Hopefully, I got a work meeting in about 15 minutes, so I'll be muted and bow out for a quick minute while I do that. But other than that, I'm ready to roll today, guys.
Perfect. And I don't know if Tom, have you fixed your audio? Are you here?
I am here.
Oh, you're super low.
I don't think you fixed your audio, mate.
How about
you
now?
might be here.
How about now?
That's much better.
Yes.
Yeah.
Sound good, man.
How's everybody doing?
Good.
Yes.
Yeah, good. Very, very good. So Tom from Midnight's Edge After Dark. Everyone's channels, by the way, are in the description. God. I don't know what's going on with me today.
Channels are in the description in the video box below. Tom, how are you doing lately?
I don't know.
Just take over from me, Paulie. Don't you worry about it.
Are you still sick, Tom?
Not really. I'm sick of things, but
He's sick in the head.
What's bothering you? What's on your mind?
oh, you're
God, don't ask him that. We'll be here all night.
Lord.
No.
Too many things.
The better question is,
it.
Tom, what's not bothering you?
That's what I just said.
Is that what you said? It was so low.
Yeah, sorry. Am I still that low, or what's going
There
on?
you go.
There we go.
Know.
That's better right there.
All right.
I don't know. So I think
I'm not
I
really
think first...
talking that loud. But...
you gotta speak up, man.
It's kind of hard when you're laying down. Why don't you sit up, Tom?
Dear. So, The Witcher Blood Origin. Absolute bomb. Relative few critics are reviewing it. But it's important to note that this won't get a lot of critics reviewing it. Right? And this isn't going to be a case of, there's going to be a big disparity between the critics and the fans. The fans are going to love it. The critics hate it. So the fans are probably going to love it. No, this is like fan fiction through and through. This is an unmitigated disaster, an absolute bomb of a show. 42%. It was sitting at, was it 35%, 36%? Initially, when it was originally revealed. So a pretty huge bomb, like I said, a mitigated disaster. And it releases 25th of December. So, I mean, what a Christmas present for... Well, what a Christmas present for Netflix, I guess. It's hard.
Who's delivering this? Krampus?
Yeah, well, yeah,
not Santa.
Seems to be that. So I thought we'd just talk a little bit about this and gonna take a look, I guess, at some of the reviews here. But definitely, Nick, as obviously you need to jump off here, there, and everywhere, just sort of jump in as and when you want, so we get your thoughts. But this was never going to do very well. It's been a huge bomb. It's just was never, ever, ever going to do very well. It just wasn't. And this sort of, butchered that. And this sort of just confirms, what we all sort of thought. So it's hard to feel invested in the fate of the characters who ultimately are little more than a footnote in Sapkowski's books, because this is fan fiction. They're just making it up. How much Witcher is too much? Here's your answer. But I would disagree with that. I don't think it's a case of, well, this is too much Witcher. I'd say that this is a case of too much fake Witcher or Poundland Witcher, Costco Witcher, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah, I was actually going to say the same, something similar on that comment, because people would say the same thing about Star Wars. After Solo came out and it bombed, and everyone's like, are we getting too much? Star Wars. Or people like, I'm like, no, people literally at the time every single week are looking forward to next week's episode of Game of Thrones, and then when the season ends, everybody can't wait for the next season to start. So it's not about the IP, it's about the quality of it, and obviously the quality of a lot of the stuff we're getting today is just not good.
Well, yeah, but it's also been mired in the sort of Henry Cavill leaving situation as well, and essentially
completely
the fact that
mismanaged. And
I mean it's you got it from multiple angles. So you've got people that tuned into the show because they were Henry Cavill fans. You got people tuning into the show because they're Witcher fans, and then they're sort of blended together. Oh, I always stay for Henry, and vice versa, because there wasn't really much of a Witcher show. So they stay for Henry, then he leaves, and then we know why he's left. We get the statements from Beau DeMayo, and it's just an absolute, just total mismanagement. And when we talk about fatigue of things, it's a really lazy, and it's what Hollywood does in general. It's very lazy. They just go, that's too much of this now, we'll just switch it up, rather than looking introspectively and going, no, actually, we are just the problem. We got terrible writers on board. We'll sort that out.
They never think they're the problem.
I know, not good. Not good at all.
Even these two, these critics are just, the reviews here, just these four.
Yeah,
these are horrible.
They're terrible.
These are horrible.
Yeah. I mean, Niv Sultan, the series proves too hurried and scattered to penetrate much beyond the surface of its universe and characters. A dramatic innuendo pause. David Opie. So this is a positive.
Uh-oh. He's frozen. Okay. Well, you're back, dude.
There we go. Now we can see and hear you.
Get your head in the game. Come on. Bucker up.
I don't know where it ended. Where did it end?
Are you on
anyway,
bucker up, Buttercup.
Am I on what?
Starlink or something out there?
No, I don't know what this is. This is very
like
frustrating. But anyway, so this is a positive review. This one here is a positive review.
A positive review. And
it's like most of these characters, and therefore Blood Origin itself, remain frustratingly limited, like rough sketches that haven't been fleshed out enough. That's the highlight. That's what they chose to do as the highlight, and that's a positive review. I mean, that's terrible. This one here is positive review. While the villains and political storylines surrounding the Golden Empire are less interesting, the series is bolstered by its engaging band of misfits as they journey across the continent, kicking butt wherever they go. So they're saying, well, the villains and storylines suck, but it's just held together because the people are engaging. I mean,
and you know what? They're probably lying. They're probably not that really engaging, but they maybe kick a little butt. So it's like, oh yeah, this merry band of mischiefs. They kick ass, even though everything else sucks.
I'm back.
Whatever. Bye-bye.
I'm back.
Is Tom here?
Yeah, I just don't give a fuck about Witcher.
Brutal. Brutal.
I will say that this is very. The first season had so much promise. It's too bad. Too bad that they just,
Yeah, I like the first season, even though I never watched the second season.
And this one's hilarious because this is
Oh, Jesus.
Well,
Oh.
he timed out again.
Timed out again. In an year filled with great fantasy, House of Dragon and Rings of Power among them, this
it's like
ultimately ranks near the bottom.
literally like every time I start trying to talk.
Yeah.
Fucking hell, what is going on?
So
That's very
are the
annoying.
green ones like good?
No, the green ones are bad.
Yeah, the splats are the bad ones.
Well, this guy Bradley Russell thinks that Rings of Power is great.
Oh,
bozo.
jeez.
God.
What a bozo. Putting House of Dragons and Rings of Power on the same line. Get out of here.
Oh,
Get out of here.
brutal.
Get out.
Well, this one's comical
Sorry.
as hell. You know, Blood Origin does not stand very well on its own or as part of the expanding franchise, managing to focus on some of the least interesting aspects of one of The Witcher's most fascinating pieces of lore. It's like, so it doesn't even succeed on the basic premise of which it was created to try and build out the universe. Dreadful.
Our buddy Soul Assassin's in the chat. I know he's a fan of The Witcher. He's saying the animated film was pretty good. I heard that before too.
I never saw the animated film, but I loved Castlevania animated film.
God,
Just watch the animated film. Screw all this shit.
Yeah. I can't wait to see what the audience scores are going to be on this come what was it, December 25th is when it drops, Christmas Day. What a terrible gift for fans of The Witcher. Like here's a piece of coal for your stocking.
Toss a coin to you, Witcher. That was like the only cool part. And then I was like, all right.
Yeah.
Dear.
All right, I'm gonna step away, guys, and jump in this work meeting, and I will be back.
Well, Paulie, at this rate, buddy, my
internet
phasing in and out, it's just going to be you talking to yourself eventually.
Well, yeah, and Tom has already left because he can't stand The Witcher. Maybe he'll come back.
Oh,
dear.
I don't know what's going on my Wi-Fi.
You got private. You got some super chats. And,
I know. Let's let's get to them. Hopefully, my Wi-Fi will sort of fix itself. It's such a pain in the ass. God damn, man. Very frustrating. We have had snow here, actually, where I am. So it might be related to that.
You never know.
My excuse. Sirloin, great name for $5. Says,
awesome.
keep doing the good work, gents. You have replaced modern entertainment. Thank you.
Yeah,
and I believe you became a member as well, Sirloin. So yeah, do appreciate that. There we go, Sirloin, new member. Thank you, buddy. Al Humphreys sent a £5 super sticker. Thank you very much. To appreciate that, dude. Hope you're well. And I will say, anyways, ladies and gents, if you want to support the show, obviously, apparently I got Wi-Fi problems, so support that maybe. Dropping the super chat, super stickers, all that good stuff. I don't know. I honestly have no idea what's going on with the Wi-Fi.
So what we're saying is that Mr. H has some shitty ass Wi-Fi, and so you all need to do some super chats so we can upgrade his ass.
Apparently so. My Wi-Fi was good for a little while. Like
that happens, man. That happens.
Such a
I hate it when it happens when I'm interviewing like a director.
It's like the worst time for it to happen as well, eh?
It's all good.
Okay, right. Okay, cool. So let's shuffle off from The Witch is just going to be a joke. This whole thing's going to be a joke. Like it's not going to be good. The Witcher. Tom, are you here now? Is he gone?
He said he said he'd be right back.
That's fine.
That was a couple minutes ago. So
he'll probably rage at this anyway, just because it's Tom. He likes to rage. Sirloin sent $5 to upgrade from British Telecom. I am actually with BT.
His avatar makes me hungry.
Fiber. I know
Maybe.
that's brilliant, isn't it?
that
Great.
avatar. I'm like,
It's got like a mushroom sauce on top.
yeah,
Love it. We need the rundown on your avatar, Sirloin. Give us the recipe.
definitely.
Oh dear. Right. Okay. So we've got like a fair amount of Avatar news. To be fair, primarily, first and foremost, they're thinking that it's basically going to be a $500 million plus global opening weekend. So that's important to note. Global opening weekend. This is Deadline. So Deadline are reporting this. Avatar: The Way of Water looks to dive in with $500 million plus global opening weekend as their box office preview. I like looking at these just because it's interesting to sort of see, sort of where the mainstream media sits on these things. Oh, okay, go backwards. And they obviously report on what sort of analysts are saying, but analysts are obviously looking at chatter online. So they say, look, Cert begins 13 years after Avatar arrived in movie theaters, conquered and continues to conquer the global box office as the highest grossing release of all time with $2.9 billion worldwide, which is just insane. I mean, that is an achievement. James Cameron's Avatar: The Way of Water, the sequel to his triple Oscar-winning 3D sci-fi movie, arrives with a global outlook of $525 million in what is Disney's widest global release ever at 52,000 screens, surpassing Avengers Endgame. So that's important to note. They are saying that it's going to be Disney's biggest global release on a screen-by-screen basis. So 52,000 screens. So that is an important element, and I think that says a lot about where they're trying to combat the runtime with, because the runtime's just insane, right? You're looking at 3.5 hours total, sort of cinema time with theatrical trailers, and normally that means that you can't. Statistically, you can't get as many showings in a day, right? So it looks like the way they're trying to combat that is by going, right, have as many screens as possible showing it. I mean, this is their biggest, widest global release ever, 52,000 screens. They're trying to get as many screens going as possible, which is surprising because you'd think that Avengers Endgame would have, that would have been their sort of crowning achievement on that. They would have put all their eggs in that basket, but apparently not. That's reserved for Avatar, and presumably because of the cost of it all. Now they say broken out, that's $175 million on the high end in US and Canada, and $350 million overseas. I'm surprised they're going as low as $175 million just domestically opening weekend. That seems quite low domestic, I think. I don't know what you think there, Paulie. But
if it opens up to that low, then it is not making $1 billion.
Yeah, Tom's right.
Low, doesn't it? Like, domestically, that's low, right?
That's basically Way of Water area where they opened up.
What? You mean Wakanda?
The way, or yeah, Wakanda, whatever the fuck. I don't know. I'm getting them both flip flop. They got blue people in the water. Both of the same.
Yeah, fair enough. But yeah, that's not good. But obviously, the overall figure seems an impressive amount.
They better help it goes up for Christmas
global
weekend, which I don't know.
Yeah, I'm not. So obviously, ladies and gents on this channel, I'm sure loads of people think that I just shit all over Avatar, and that may be true. But this sort of segment, I wasn't trying to shit on Avatar. Put it that way. I didn't go into this with that intention. But it's difficult not to highlight $175 million. That's the high end of their prediction for the domestic total. That is really quite low. Now they're saying $350 million overseas. Some tracking has The Way of Water at 150.
That's still not even at $1 billion altogether.
No, it's $500 million. $500 million is what they reckon opening weekend globally. $500 million.
No, it's not going to make the money they need.
Well, I mean, if you get average drop off of 60% next weekend, which I guess they're banking on it not doing that and picking up steam, that would struggle, wouldn't it? I think.
Well,
but they say, look, and if the movie arrives at the low level, it's not the end of the world. Read why further down. We'll see that. So they say the offshore tickets are composed of $250 million plus another $100 million from China, always the variable market. I don't think China will do that much because they're on lockdown and they're protesting. It's not a great economic environment at the moment for the movies. I'm surprised Deadline hasn't recognized that fact. It seems a bit odd. You'd think that that'd be a pretty obvious one to point out, non-political. Hey, look, Avatar might not do very well in China because they're protesting their freedoms. Like you'd think. But no mind. Now they say since Deadline first announced screenwriting team for sequels in 2013, blah, 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 blah. Where is it? Where are they talking about this? So they say, you remember that Sony Spider-Man No Way Home decimated its predictions last year. Sony predicted that the domestic opening for the Marvel Studios title would be $130 million. The town called it $175 to $100 million. And the movie came in at $260.1 million. The global projection was $290, $390, and No Way Home landed at $600 million. Could that happen here with Avatar: The Way of Water? If it does happen, domestic box office, it's because families and parents and older adults decided to walk up and break from holiday activities in a pre-Christmas corridor. Despite being hot on tracking throughout all demos, the comparison here for Avatar: The Way of Water, given its older skewing fan base, are legacy franchise sequels like Top Gun Maverick. Interesting comparison. And Jurassic World Dominion, not the Marvel movies. No Way Home over-indexed on its opening weekend and giving moviegoers fear of missing out for what was the most connective and expansive piece of the MCU. Avatar: The Way of Water will be by appointment viewing, meaning moviegoers are going to want to see the movie under those circumstances.
I just looked at... sorry.
No, go ahead, man.
I just looked at all the seating for the first showing in the big Madison Theater in Wisconsin, which is the capital.
Yeah.
They're not even fucking sold out. The IMAX 3D is only about half full for the first two showings. And the 3D, the first 3D showing is not even got like 2 or 3 people in it. The first standard showing only has 2 seats sold. Wow. That is not good.
Let me check. While you're talking, Tom, let me check a couple LA theaters.
Yeah, please do, because
bro, I will say, Tom.
This is Leicester Square Cineworld. This is
okay.
Central London. This is actually where most English world premieres are. I've been there for world premieres. It is at Leicester Square Cineworld.
Now, granted, the IMAXs have the most of the best seats taken already. I will give them that for the 2 showings they got, but
yeah, but everyone's going to be.
Let's have a look, shall we?
It's still only half full.
Should I look up?
Well, they have the IMAX, so
should I look up the 3D or the regular digital cinema primetime?
I've been checking them all just to kind of see the difference, and I'm surprised. I thought the standard ones would be full up. They're not. Right. They got only two seats sold.
Wow.
Where am I?
Okay, that
I thought it was on Leicester Square. For goodness' sake, what's going on?
Okay, that one 3D for at 8:10 p.m. 3D reel is not even halfway sold out.
And that's LA?
That is right down the street from me in central LA.
Right. So
but I'll go to Hollywood in a second.
So this is
even worse.
Well, this is Leicester Square, IMAX 3D, 7 o'clock peak time, right?
That's
peak
the biggest theater you guys got, right?
Okay.
Well, it's not the biggest one, but it's Central London. It's where the world premiere.
It's the most famous or whatever, yeah.
Yeah, it's it's Central London. It's a pretty big one. So 7 o'clock. Let's have a look. What? No. Continue as a guest. Do I have to really do all of this?
Just add 1 ticket and it should let you see the seats.
Right.
Because you guys have seating over there, right?
Yeah, it'll show you.
They have seats there.
Oh.
That's kind of full.
Not too bad.
So not bad.
I got one.
It's more than I got here.
Same theater, different auditorium. 7:45.
Oh, no, this is better than we think. Sorry, this is way better than we think. So the black ones are available.
Right.
That's actually
No,
really
yeah.
good.
That's what I was saying. It's better than my IMAX showing.
better
Mine
than-
was roughly half. Yeah.
So I
Wow.
got
Yours is pretty good.
Jesus, that's pretty good.
guys. The same theater. I got 7:45 p.m. Only 5 sold, and that's a bigger auditorium. Another 3D.
Wow.
And
So we got one sold out. 240.
Well, there you go. Well, it's gonna go do well overseas. It looks like. I don't know about in the US. So we'll have to see.
There's not many sold out though. So if we're looking through them, or maybe it's just not in 4D. Oh no, yeah, 4D IMAX. So there's one there sold out, and there's another one sold out. They're not. It's not sold out. Put it that way. Interesting. I think this will do quite well in the UK then, by the looks of it.
How about if I go to the Burbank, Tom, that Chris Gore always goes to?
Yeah.
Almost full, 7:15. Almost full, 8:15. The other ones are empty.
So people, 6 just sent me a shot of her section. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 7.
The Grove almost full.
Like 30 out of probably 100 some seats. It looks like 100
Yeah.
seats.
The thing is, there's a lot of screens, and there's only a couple saying almost full. I mean, there's tons of screens. There's tons of times.
Well, they have to. They have to do that because otherwise you're not going to get. You have to play on numbers rather than.
Her 7 p.m. showing looks a little bit more full, but not much more.
The quantity over quality of screening bookings on this one because it's just so long. The movie's just so.
Well, I'm talking about. See, the one I'm talking about is the only IMAX between here and like Milwaukee. So that's like a 2.5,
that should be
3
pretty full then.
That's what I'm saying, and it's the capital. Now Milwaukee might be doing a little bit better as far as number wise, but it's not. It's only like roughly half full for both showings, less so for the earlier showing.
I reckon
the IMAXs. The IMAXs here, Universal, City Walk, Hollywood, almost full. The Grove.
I'll say this then,
almost full. This is just the IMAXs though. Century City,
good,
almost full. So
well, that's what they need is that IMAX number. Yeah,
those 3 different IMAXs
money,
in like that Hollywood area just called out. They're pretty much sold out. I'm looking at the seating charts as well. And when they say almost full, like the front.
This
front
movie
row,
has to break an opening record to be able to do what it's going to do.
What does it need to make, Tom? What does it need to make, bro?
Cameron alluded to that it had to make about 400 million. Some people were like, 2 billion. And some people were like, oh, well, I don't know about that. Well, then it got out there that, the budget's somewhere between 400 and 500 million. So yeah, that would pretty much mean you have to clear like over close to or over like 1.5 or $2 billion to be in the black here. And this is not sounding like, and that was the thing is that's why Cameron, I don't think was sounding so confident. He's like, we don't know if we're going to get to do any more. I may have to reshoot the ending for part 3. It sounded like, so we'll have to
just
see
as an FYI, so I this is turning into quite a positive, but this is not a positive. The theater near me, which is the only IMAX screen near me for, it's probably got like a 2-hour radius around it. They are only showing. How many showings do you think of Avatar in one day? Do you think that they're showing? Any guesses?
See, and that's the thing that's going to hurt. I think only one main screen is only going to be able to show like 4 showings in a day, maybe 5 at most.
3.
Yeah.
It is literally 3 showings a day that they're doing.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Because we only have one IMAX screen in that theater too, and that's what I noticed too. Is the first day it's only 2 showings. Let me see what it is on Friday. Hang on.
So I was telling Tom, I was telling Nate earlier
3 showings. That's it.
All the movie houses not all, the 3 that I've been to here and around town, they have huge displays of the digital display of Avatar in the lobbies. I think that's a smart idea.
I wish I would have taken some pictures though of some of the other bigger releases that weren't so long, so you guys could see the amount of showings compared to the amount of showings they got here. Because this seems like hardly any showings.
It is interesting.
It is if you think about it, because I mean, it kind of reminds me of like, I wish like, because when Joker came out, that was crazy. Because when I bought my tickets for the theater, there was like 4 screens showing the Joker, so I had no problems getting decent tickets. That wasn't a problem. By the time I got to the theater, though, all of the screens but one were showing Joker. That's how many they were selling in that day. So again, we'll have to check back Thursday. Some people are saying, I think Kareen sent in a super chat about that. So yeah, some people wait, but usually for bigger movies like this, they sell out pretty early for the big screenings if they're going to be big. So I mean, even compared to like Way of the Water, because I think I remember Wakanda. Considering I looked at that one, now I'm flip flopping them all the time. When I remember looking at that one, I remember that one being a bit more full because I thought about going to see it, but I'm like, nah.
Yeah,
so I'm wondering if that'll have a better opening than this. That's not good.
I'm like, I'm over 6'1", and this thing is huge.
Big ass. It's a big ass screen, isn't it?
It's well, and it's digital, so it moves. It wasn't just staying like that. So you had all the imagery going on. It was really beautiful.
It looks like about 50 TVs put together.
Right. And I've seen that now in all the big, I've been to some of the main theaters lately in Hollywood. They all have that with Avatar. And I'm like, well, that's where they're getting the word out. It's not a bad idea.
Yeah. I still think $175 million domestic opening, that's terrible. That's not good. That's very low. But it might be undershooting it. They might be undershooting it in an effort to, I don't know, stir up people to watch it. I don't know.
Well, I was going to ask both of you guys about that. Who was talking about this movie up until a month ago?
Well, I don't know. And I noticed the other day that it hasn't trended yet.
It has today. It did.
Did it finally today?
Yeah,
I haven't seen it.
I did for me. I saw it in the UK.
I still haven't seen it. Scream 6 has been trending. I think that's paid for. Well, I haven't seen it yet. Anyway.
So let's just say it's not trending. However, from James Cameron's, crazy interviews and all that stuff, and us talking about it, I think there's been more. I think all this talk around this movie has it's part of their marketing scheme. They probably say, Cameron, go and say some crazy shit because you don't give a shit. I just, other than that, I just don't see it. I know Chris Gore liked it. So I'm kind of interested in seeing it now, but I wasn't even gonna go see this movie, man. I was not gonna go see this movie.
It may wind up being a huge success. I'm just not seeing the buzz for it. I'm seeing more buzz for things like Megan than I'm seeing for this, to be honest with you.
Well, I'll agree with that, but I mean, the thing about that is that this is something which doesn't need the buzz, and the thing, I think it lulls you into a false sense of security in believing that your opinion is the sort of wider opinion of the normie. So, whenever I do a video on it, when I had been doing the updates way back, I'd always be like, who's interested in this? And you would get floods of comments coming through, absolute floods of them. And I just think, I think this is one of those. This is one of those movies that doesn't really need, it doesn't have that chatter because it's got the normies' attention. For some reason, somehow.
Maybe, but also my mom's response to the trailer was not very good. And my mom is usually a pretty positive person. Like, she watches a lot of that fucking...
Your mom is positive?
Yeah, she watches all that Hallmark fucking puppy shit.
Did not rub off on you, did it?
No, hell no. But she saw the trailer, and I was waiting for her response, because the first time she saw it was over Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
And she loved the first one. Like, she adored it.
Yeah.
And I'm like... She's like, is that a new one? I'm like, yeah, it's the new one coming out this Christmas. She's like, it looks just like the original. I'm like, yeah. She's like, so they're not releasing the first one again? That's a different movie? I'm like, yeah. She's like, well, it looks just like the old one. She did not look like she was even remotely interested in it. Like, it was just kind of weird.
It is the same.
I think another thing it has going for it is its release time. And I said this before Midnight Suns, I think. Tom, is that it's got that December 16th till what? When's Puss in Boots?
I think Puss in
time?
Boots is giving it 1 week, and then because
Okay.
Puss in Boots opens over Christmas.
Okay.
So you've got Megan and Puss in Boots plus Violent Night, which is doing all right. So I'm curious to see how those give Avatar a bit of a run for its money.
Well, also too, Tom, what Tom said in the 2 movies that I went to go see in the theater recently, when the Avatar trailer came up, I was like, no sounds. When the Megan trailer came up, wow.
Really?
Oh yeah.
I didn't get the appeal to that Megan thing. I don't know.
I don't either, but it keeps popping up in my feed and all this other shit.
What?
And
people love that kind of. It's like a horror.
What's
movie,
funny is it's
Slay
basically the
Queen,
Child's Play remake with a chick doll instead of a male doll.
Yeah,
but you know what? I don't care, because that's what I said about Child's Play. I'm like, you know what? What sucks about this Child's Play remake is the fact that it's a Child's Play remake is its problem. If it was its own original thing, it would actually be a very interesting horror movie.
Tom, if it's rated R though, it can't do that well. I mean,
that is
Joker,
a limit, but
crossing $1 billion.
But no, I mean, Paulie's right. Like, there's no way in the world that Puss in Boots or Megan are going to be able to gross anywhere near what Avatar does, but that doesn't mean it ain't going to take a chunk out of its ass.
No, I agree. I do agree. I think the real thing again going against Avatar is just its runtime. And loads of people in the chat were dropping in saying, well, this many shown. That's not IMAX. I was only looking at the IMAX, and the IMAX.
Yeah, we're just talking about IMAX. Yeah.
IMAX is what they want. They earn more money from it. That's the thing that they keep selling it on. It's shot on IMAX, in IMAX, the best, blah, blah, blah. So that's what they want. They want you to watch it in IMAX 3D. They don't want you to watch it on the other screens. And if they can only have, and that's their most lucrative as well. So them having only 3 showings a day in my local one, which is the closest IMAX for a couple of hours drive from where I am, that's not a good sign. That's not good from that regard anyway.
Well, the AMC's here in LA, the IMAXs are mostly sold out, but there's tons of other screens it's on. Tons.
Yeah.
So,
well, this is their biggest release, 52,000 screens.
This is right.
It is Disney's biggest screen-wide release ever. It makes sense. Makes sense that that's what they would do. Because, I mean, how else are you going to recoup it back otherwise? But also, that's a decision for the vendors as well, right? Like the exhibitors, they must be going, right, well, this is the movie we're going to make loads of money from. We'll sort of downgrade everything else.
I heard some of them were griping because in fact, I'd heard from somebody that some smaller theaters are not wanting to take the movie. This is a pretty reliable source. That because they want 65% of the box office for the first, I can't remember if it was 3 weeks or 30 days.
Wow.
And so there's a lot of these smaller theaters that are just like, fuck that.
Yeah.
Because not only are, like you said, you're only getting so many screenings per show. And some of these theaters only have maybe 1 or 2 screens. So that means that's the only thing that's going to be playing. Right? Like, so if nobody shows up, then what the fuck are they going to do? And they still have to pay out rental fees and everything too on top of it all. And because I remember talking to another small theater owner, and she was griping about some of Disney's practices too on that note. Because like she gets pissed whenever they have a premiere. Because even if she has something that's playing better, they're usually contractually obligated to have to move that movie into the bigger theater. So even if something else is playing much better, they have to move that movie out, put it in their bigger theater, and then they got these 2 or so however many other smaller screens where they have to put, people they're selling out whatever, but they can't sell out whatever the big movie is supposed to be.
Tom, but what's the next biggest movie after Avatar that they'll have to move Avatar out?
Well, that's the thing is we don't know how Puss in Boots or Megan's going to play. And somebody said in the chat that it's PG-13. If Megan's PG-13, that's got some chances.
It's PG-13, but it's January 6th, I think.
I thought that come out over Christmas.
You
could be right. You could be right.
January
6th. Well, if it has till January 6th, that gives Avatar 2 weeks. And it all depends on how Puss in Boots plays. Now, I mean, Puss in Boots could just do jack shit. But don't forget the last one did do $500 million, almost not quite, but almost as long ago as the first Avatar. So we'll have to see. We got 2 franchises that haven't had a movie in a while, but Puss in Boots has the upper hand here because it's part of the Shrek franchise, and the Shrek films have had more sequels. We've had at least a couple, so.
Well, it's not just that either. There's a few coming out in January, actually. It's not just that. There's a fair
The
few.
Scream comes out in March, but I don't know if that's going to be a big.
So you've got Megan. Obviously, that comes out January 6th. Is it January 6th? Yeah, 6th January. Then Friday, January 13th, you have The Amazing Maurice, which is a family film. You've got to think about, what sort of market is going to be pulling away from the Avatar. So The Amazing Maurice, family films, got Emilia Clarke, Hugh Laurie, David Tennant, like relatively large names in it. And I've seen that advertised around now. I've seen that advertised. I didn't see Strange World advertised. I have seen The Amazing Maurice advertised. So that comes out. So Megan, that one. And then it doesn't look like there's any other movies really coming out until the end of January. There's not that much there, to be fair. By the looks of it.
When's Shazam? Isn't that like the next big superhero one?
Yeah, but it doesn't
That
have to be a
might be
superhero movie
March.
to take away from it.
Is it
Oh, that's not
March?
until March. Yeah.
I think I could be wrong, but I think it's March.
But aren't they also counting on Avatar to have some legs for a few months?
Yeah, of course so. Yeah.
They better
they
hope.
have to.
Right.
Yeah,
Like,
they
that's the
have
thing.
to.
If this thing plays like fucking Wakanda Forever, it's going to be Avatar Never, because like,
Have
Well,
you been
actually,
waiting all morning to say that?
no, I just made that shit up.
February 17th, Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania is
Yeah.
releasing. So, I mean, that leads
I don't know
into it
how
as
much
well.
that's really gonna see, because the second one didn't even do that great.
Cocaine Bear, February 24th.
See, now if they were releasing that up against
Got my money.
Avatar, then we'd have some problems here, because I
It's
think
got my
people
money.
would actually be like, "Wait a minute, Cocaine Bear, Avatar 2. I've seen Avatar. I'm going to see Cocaine Bear."
That would be like the perfect winter movie too. It should be out now. 'Cause
Yeah,
it's all,
warm
like,
you
in the
up.
forest and
Heart
shit with the
warmer.
snow. Yeah, but listen, people love those horror flicks in the forest and the snow.
Oh, yeah, I
and
love
shit.
it.
They love
I'm
that
game
stuff.
for that.
Yeah,
I'm game
yeah.
for that.
Yeah.
So anyway, it'll be interesting to see how it sort of comes out. But we'll talk a little bit more Avatar in a minute. I've got to get to some super chats now.
Indeed.
Before we sort of shuffle on, because we had some come through. Thank you, everyone, supporting the channel with the super chats. It goes a really long way. And please do hit the thumbs up button on this stream. Notifications have been crap at the moment, so please do hit that thumbs up button. And I will say as well, in the description box, check out Mr. H Reviews Live Archives. It's the second channel where clips from live streams go. Hit subscribe over there. You won't regret it. So Mr. Luba Luba for $10, 10 euros, I think. Says, every franchise I love has been run into the ground. I discovered The Witcher through the games. I was so happy I had found a well-written and authentic fantasy world. Then the Netflix series happened. Yeah, it's all with the writing, man. They've just got to milk it. And it's so disappointing as well, because you think, like, you spend so much money buying the rights to this franchise. Hire some fucking good writers. Like, what are you doing? Because it's just a waste of money. Absolutely bizarre. Doug 1985 for $4.99 says, Tom is slowly turning into Mike from Red Letter Media. I don't know if that's
Who's that? I don't know who that is.
It's Mike from RLM. Nah, because they hated Ghostbusters, and I'm like, what the fuck is wrong with you guys?
Ghostbusters was good. Ghostbusters Afterlife was good.
I know. I was like, what the fuck, dude? And there's a couple other movies they had some bad takes on recently. I'm just like, nah, not quite. I don't agree with their newer film reviews, but I do love their when they make fun of stupid movies.
KN Kareen for $4.99 says, Tom, it's still early Thursday night. Look at those numbers. It's Tuesday.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. Like, yeah, Thursday they may sell more.
Right.
But, usually these kind of big movies are pretty well booked out. Like,
Wait a minute,
I
Tom.
was saying, is comparing
Yeah,
it
you
to
are
like,
right.
The Way of the
Tom,
Wakanda.
wait a minute.
So.
Are you going to see it this weekend?
Fuck no.
All right, Holmes.
I
got
will
5
have
hours to do that shit. Actually, 6 hours when you think about it.
I unfortunately will have to.
It's a tax write-off, homie.
I don't care. You can't tax write off my fucking time.
Ah, so true. So true. What's
After the Batman, I am never, ever, ever going to see a movie that's anywhere close to 3 hours again, unless I know I'm going to like it.
Remind us again how positive your mum is, Tom.
Yes. My dad is actually usually pretty positive too.
Oh, goodness me. Right.
I don't see why I should have to sit through 3.5 hours of a movie. I already know how it's going to end.
I think you're right about Cocaine Bear. I just asked.
I would sit through 3 hours of Cocaine Bear before I'd sit through 3 hours of Avatar.
Cocaine. So Romy just said Cocaine Bear right away. You're right, Tom. It should come out now. Yeah. It should come out like right before Christmas, bro. It would make
good counter programming. It would smash it.
Yes. Violent Night's going to be counter programming. Yes.
Yeah. John Apocalypse for £2 says Cineworld Watford has 20+ screenings on Friday. Yeah. So this is kind of what I was saying earlier, is that they will have plenty of screenings, but not in the IMAX, which is that's what they're banking on, it being IMAX. That's the sort of important distinction. Tom Workins sent a $3 super sticker. Thank you so much. My dude, appreciate it. Appreciate you all. We had Teague for $5 says, do you think some of the reviews of overpraising Avatar are seen as pretentious and turning people off? This happens to me every once in a while. Do I think some of the reviews overpraising Avatar are seen as pretentious and turning people off? This happens to me every once in a while. Yeah, I mean, I guess so to a degree. Yeah, I mean, so that's actually what we're going to get into now is the reviews. So the review embargo fully has been lifted. And so I thought we would just dive into, it a little bit. I don't know whether, the review embargo lifting on a Tuesday before the movie is a good thing or not. I always see that as a pretty bad thing. This close to the release, I mean, it releases Friday. It's not a great deal of time. Obviously, it's not as bad as on the day, which is what some of them do. But Tuesday before the Friday, it's not great. I don't know what you guys think about that. Embargo-wise.
Tom, I mean, all we see from the reviews is it looks stupendous. It looks amazing. We never hear anything about the story. And the guy that did say something about the story said it was thin. I mean, Chris Gore gave it a good review, but he also said it does have issues,
Right. That's the only one I really paid attention to. I haven't read any of these embargo lists.
Wow. So Empire have given it 5 stars. Saying James Cameron, this is just the overall synopsis anyway, says James Cameron has surfaced with a cosmic marine epic that only he could make. Eccentric, soulful, joyous, dark, very, very blue. Yes, he's still leagues ahead of the pack.
Are these blue underwater people Mexican as well?
They might be.
Well, they are oppressed.
They are trying to steal precious metals from their lands. So maybe. What do we find? The Guardian gave it 2 stars. Says, what do we find aside from the high-tech visual superstructure? The floatingly bland plot is like a children's story without the humor. A young adult story, that's a damning comment, without the emotional wound. An action thriller without the hard edge of real excitement. So very much surface. It's all surface, isn't it? Right? That's what they're saying there. So, bland, crap children's story without humor, young adult stuff without any emotional element. A hard action thriller without the hard edge, any risk, any excitement. That's bad, isn't it? That's damning.
Is this like that same thing, merry band of misfits kicking ass across the countryside?
Yeah, it's a little bit like that, isn't it? Like it's just paper thin. I mean,
it's so like Yeah, I'm sorry. Go on.
Well, I was just say it's dropped in at 83% on Rotten Tomatoes. It's not horrendous. You know, I mean, let's take a look and see what they're saying here. Like the original, it's Dances with Wolves in Outer Space, only dumber. That's what the first one was, yeah. CNN says James Cameron has done it again with Avatar: The Way of Water. A state-of-the-art exercise that rekindles the sense of wonder and demands to be seen by anyone with lingering interest in watching movies in theaters. You can't sell me the movie on the technology. It doesn't do it for me, I'm afraid. Cameron and his cronies just expect us to marvel at his technological acumen and forget that filmmakers are supposed to entertain audiences, not expend energy to impress them with their movie-making expertise. I mean, that's savage. Very savage. We get one here. Again, positive anyway. Says the Na'vi aren't just fighting the good fight this time around. Avatar: The Way of Water is about perseverance, loyalty, and the lengths they go to keep their family safe. So a little bit of story stuff there, I guess.
Okay, I'm gonna go Thursday night.
Oh, he's doing it.
Yeah,
He's
I'm gonna
doing
go.
it.
Chris Gore is gonna see it at 7:15. I'm gonna join him. There you go.
He's doing it.
So I'll have initial reaction right out of the theater, Tommy. And
You won't be on Thursday. You won't be here to review it, will you?
No, it's like at night. So like literally, it would be right after we do this show. A couple hours after, while you're
shame, man.
While you're doing memes.
So I'm sleeping.
Yeah.
This is a negative one. It says Cameron loses track of his characters, snarls his story, squanders his star power. What star power does he have in this movie?
Sigourney
Who's the big
Weaver?
stars in this? I guess.
I think maybe the star power of the
Saldana?
The blue people. No, the actual, Navi or whatever they're.
Well, no, he says squanders his star power, so I'm guessing it's actual actors. And then Dizzy's 3D audiences with so much whiz bang that they might feel attacked in lieu of awed. Oof. Let's see what our favorite reviewer, Grace Randolph, says. Oh, I love you, Grace.
No,
So, a stunning VFX achievement, which could very well change the movie business yet again. Yeah, just like 3D did. Changed the movie business, didn't it? Put everyone off.
Yeah, 20 fucking years ago.
More like a theme park experience. Avatar: The Way of Water demands to be seen in premium 3D.
AKA spend all your money.
That's right, Grace. Get them shekels. And focusing on Lang's character gives the sequel some much needed edge. Good to see that they're actually focusing on Lang's character, though. Interesting. A negative says, yes, the film looks spectacular, but so now do David Attenborough's wildlife documentaries. The sight of a great white shark launching itself out of the water in Blue Planet 2 is far more awesome and sublime than a CGI fantasy creature.
Yeah, get him, Jason.
I mean, I'm
just kidding.
That's pretty savage, in fairness.
I hope it's good, but I see like cracks here and there.
We'll do another. We'll do another positive one. It says Cameron pulls you down so deep and sets you so gently adrift. Sounds like his wet dream, this guy. That at times you don't feel like you're watching a movie so much as floating in one. All right, mate. Negative one. As a story, The Way of Water disappoints, even as its visuals overwhelm. That's the general vibe I'm getting. Positive one. It sets the bar even higher for sci-fi epics. The movie's technical achievements and story surpass the first Avatar film. That's the bare minimum. Expect to be immersed in a visually stunning world that has a lot to say about protection of families and the environment. I can't wait to be lectured on the environment.
Like Robbie's above that. Watching the film feels like being waterboarded with turquoise cement.
Yeah, that was what I was going to go to next. That's unbelievable.
That's harsh.
Watching the film feels like being waterboarded with turquoise cement. Fucking hell.
1 out of 5 stars. Wow.
This Daily Mail says the sequel is tremendous, fun, even bigger and better than the original, but by golly, it will test your bladder. Yeah, a negative one from Time magazine. The way of water is the wave of the future, rolling in whether you like it or not. Oh, that is a negative.
Doesn't say anything about the movie. Just yeah.
Well, I guess it's like get ready. Yeah. Overwritten when it isn't underwritten. Overwrought, overblown. I'm over it. Okay.
I have to say some of these reviews are creatively written well. Probably more entertaining than the actual dialogue.
I like the puns. I like a good pun when I'm in my review space for these things. So yeah, I don't know. I mean, so that's the initial reviews. I mean, look, it'll be interesting to see. I mean, 150, $175 million domestic opening. That's not great. 525 million global take home opening weekend. It's not bad. That's not bad. But with the statements of it needing to make over 2 billion by the end of its theatrical run to break even, that's not good either. So I don't know, any sort of final words on Avatar before we move on, guys? You're going to go watch it, so you're sold on that.
I'll see it Thursday night. Yeah. Tom will be rewatching probably like RoboCop tomorrow Thursday night,
or Jaws,
or Pulp Fiction.
RoboCop was
Highlander
playing
came
on
out again.
TV yesterday, Tom, and I thought of you.
Thinking
that's
of
what
Tom.
bros do, man.
That's so sweet.
Yeah, man.
Yeah. Well, so we're going to stay on topic with Avatar, but not about the film itself. We're going to be speaking about the VFX team. So Weta Workshop is one of the most prestigious VFX houses.
Is it still owned by Peter Jackson?
No, he sold it.
I was going to say I thought he sold it a while
to
ago,
a gaming studio. But I mean, it is the one of the most prestigious names in the industry, right? Weta Workshop, mainly because of Peter Jackson and obviously the work on the Lord of the Rings, right? Like we know it because of that. It's a very prestigious house. It's also the favored studio for I can't remember his bloody name now. The South African director, Neil Blomkamp. So they're big workshop, great name, but now they're being slammed with allegations of low pay and poor working conditions, which is not a stretch. Like this is something which not a massive surprise. We hear about this all the time. I mean, we see the end result of these bad working conditions and low pay in Marvel movies, for instance. The VFX are terrible. The end result is Marvel CGI at the moment. It's awful. Like it's not good stuff. And anyone thinking otherwise, you are genuinely fooling yourself. Go compare to some good CGI. So this is an interesting one. This popped up on Twitter. And basically, an individual who worked for Weta come out, Logan Preshaw, and basically just started tweeting about it, showed some evidence as well, and was really candid about it. And you know what? I just think it's a shame, like if the industry itself, as per those reviews, are moving towards CGI fest, right? That's the future of the industry. CGI, right? Well, this is the future. You'd think you'd look after these people a little bit more. You would hold them in a higher regard, but apparently not. So Logan says, I worked on Avatar 2. I'm proud of that. I'm not proud of how little Weta Workshop pays its artists. As a concept artist, I was paid the current minimum wage, which is a pay cut of $10 an hour from when I was a lead on animated cartoon shows. Many of the practical artists were paid similarly. If you have the money for this prop, you have the money to pay your artists adequately. Weta Workshop is a world-renowned name, and Avatar 2 is a multi-million-dollar film. Many of the artists were earning a little over the tour shop staff's pay, which is fucking shocking, well below industry standard. I worked 10 hours a day for 21 New Zealand dollars an hour, which comes to just over $13 an hour US. 1 hour was deducted for lunch, and when I asked for more pay, 8 months in, quoting my previous job's pay and experience, it was raised to $23 New Zealand an hour. 3 months later, I left, and this is the sort of evidence of that anyway. Now, it continues and says, to clarify a few things, I wasn't paid $10 an hour. That's the pay cut I took from my previous role as a lead on kids' animated shows. I wasn't the artist I am today. This was 2018. This is solely on Workshop, not James Cameron, 20th Century, or the overall production of Avatar 2. Weta Workshop is not a small-time studio. It's a world-renowned company that regularly receives assistance from the New Zealand government, which is true. They take loads of tax breaks to keep blockbuster production within its shores. In my time there, they had major contracts for Mulan, MIB4, World Expo 2020, the Avatar sequels, and more. To those saying you took the job, Australia doesn't have much of a film industry, and Weta is central to New Zealand's. I took what I could for the rare privilege of working with a world-class team. To justify their rate based on that is gross and enables the devaluing of artists. Weta Workshops had many red flags over the years and chosen to do very little to improve. This is reflected in both my experience and the experiences of artists I know from there. If you're in Australia or New Zealand, seek other opportunities. The prestige of their name is not worth it. Tom, my dude, what on earth do you think of this?
This company is not paying its folks, it sounds like. I mean, as far as
13 US dollars an hour.
Yeah, that's, I mean, I hear McDonald's people want more than that, and I can't even get my order right.
And the fights. I mean, you get front row seat to bare knuckle boxing in
That's right.
McDonald's these days.
That's what I hear and see on Twitter.
I see on Twitter too.
This is insane. I mean, of course, this is kind of similar to what we've heard about people who have worked for Disney, worked for for the Marvel productions and stuff like that. I mean, a lot of these animators are being worked to death, paid nothing, and the movies are already expensive. And that's where I think a lot of these things are going to sooner or later come to a head, because you can't keep doing this. Sooner or later, it may be fun and prestigious to be in a role like this, but when you're not making enough to feed your kids, then something's got to give sooner or later. So I mean, I'm surprised they haven't moved Weta out of New Zealand even to begin with. But do they even still really have much of a film market there?
Well, I mean, it's the only thing that's sort of active there. Just to clarify, loads of people in the chat are a bit confused. $23 is not US. It's $13 US is what this Weta pays. $13 US an hour.
Even if that's still not shit for somebody what they're doing here for this kind of work. Considering the kind of money that these movies, the kind of money these movies are supposed to generate. And
well, I mean,
you guys got the amount of hours they put in.
Yeah, well, we know how much Avatar needs to make to break even. So where's the money gone? Because it was all on visuals. So who's pocketing the money? That's what you need to think about.
Well, I'm sure James Cameron got quite a bit.
Well, yeah, but the reason why this movie costs so much money is because of the technology aspect. And it would seem that the people influential in that are not being paid. It's just shocking to me.
The executives, managers, and higher ups at the company are getting all the money. The people doing the actual work are getting the ones getting shafted. Guarantee you.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, $13 US an hour for a high skilled.
Because the company probably tells the Weta probably tells the production companies, like, all right, this is how much it's going to cost for us to do this work that you're wanting. They budget it, give the quote, then they get the pay, they get all the money, and then they pay the workers whatever they want to pay. So the company's probably making a killing, while the workers are getting shafted.
Very true. And this is kind of a similar thing too that we see. Otherwise, it's whatever deal Weta's making for their animators, right? Like what Nick's saying. I mean, if they're promising that they can do this work on too low of a wage, that's their company's fault, and that's kind of the similar thing I saw with over at Marvel. is, they try and tell their animators, oh, well, we'll do it for this much less. That way you can put this Marvel and that Marvel project on your resume. And
Yeah.
it's like after a while they get to a point where it's just like it's not worth it. The amount of overtime and because these guys are working 15, 16-hour days sometimes or more. Sometimes they're working in the office plus home and everywhere else. They don't have family life anymore, and it can. I mean, just as somebody who does standard editing and the thing that I do for Midnight's Edge, I can only imagine the amount of hours and time that these guys are spending working on this shit.
Yeah, I mean, an editor for films gets like reasonably good pay, to be honest. Like, not bad, a good day rate.
And it's not just the movie industry doing this. I remember there was a union investigation that found out that there was like 85% or something of video game workers that don't get that are underpaid, don't get paid for overtime, and are worked to death. And we've heard people in the video game industry that have come out and talked
it's
about
that crunch
this.
thing,
So,
isn't it?
yeah, and so this is kind of, I think, the norm across the board for a lot of these, corporations.
Yeah. I mean, it's just to me, it's it's a real shame that if this is the future of the industry as per these reviews we're touting, this is the future. Immersive worlds, CG out the wazoo. You'd think you'd pay them correctly, and you'd think as well. Weta Workshop, one of the most prestigious ones, name brands anyway in VFX as a VFX house, would most definitely pay well, especially with all the tax incentives that New Zealand gives, which is quite a lot. Like, they give a lot of tax breaks, an awful lot of tax breaks. So yeah, it's unfortunate.
I was watching the behind the scenes of Pinocchio, the Guillermo del Toro's Pinocchio, because I'm putting together my review, just processing it all, and then I learned that they had 3 different animated companies working on it, 60 stages at the same time. I mean, just unparalleled stuff. Took 10 years, concept to it coming out. But you could tell in the work that these guys like put the pride in it. It really sucks to hear. And I guess my point is and I'm not surprised. It's really awful to hear how companies treat their talented creative workers. But it's nothing new, and you could find it in all sorts of industries. So I'm glad. That also reminds me of some of the writers that knowingly took a job on a Netflix show, but they did it because of who and what they're writing on. But they got paid like crap, and then the production was even cheaper because they filmed it in Mexico, even though it was a huge international hit. Those are just some of the practices of a company sometimes.
Bit scummy, really. Shame. So I thought we'd highlight that. Nice to have you back, Nick. How you doing? How was your meeting?
Good. Yep, meeting ran a little long, but yeah, I'm pretty much good to go now.
Excellent. Good. Well, we'll get to some super chats, and then we'll shuffle on to the next topic. So we had Tom Working jumping for $5 and say unobtainium. I still hate that. I think that is one of the, and people are always like, yeah, but that's a real thing. I don't care. I don't care if it's a real thing. It's a stupid
still
name.
Dumb as shit.
The defense that's a real, that's real. It's not a defense.
It's like if they called the item in a movie that the bad guy wants a MacGuffin. Like, they didn't even bother to even give it a name other than, the literary name of it.
It's just creative bankruptcy.
Yeah.
Like,
well, how many real things out there have stupid names? That doesn't mean anything.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, come on, like, it's still a dumb name. Tom Working for $5 says actual critical film review adhering to some shared film study is gone. All personality and wordplay. Yeah. I mean, looking at like technical aspects and things of films and sort of thematic, sort of iconography, those sorts of things. I mean, those are important, right? You are right. Like, it's a bit. I don't know. I don't want it to sound rich coming from someone that obviously does film reviews. and a large portion of it is a personality element, even from what I do, for sure. But I still try to go into the the technical aspect of things, and discuss that. And that actually will take us on to our next topic in a minute, which is great. Like, from a technical perspective, there's a lot to dive into in just one frame, which we'll take a look at. Tom Wilkins says cost of living. I think it's obviously in reference to New Zealand stuff. I love this comment. I saw this come in and says, "Dude, I worked on Infinity War. I live on my mum's couch." Yeah. I saw that come in. I was like, that aptly describes it.
Wow.
Hey? Like, that's brilliant. That is absolutely brilliant. So, next topic, I want to talk about Joker Folie à Deux, because they've released an image. It's a few days old, but I hadn't had a chance to really talk about it or cover it. And I sort of dive into the image today. And there was just so much to sort of unpack there. But I think first and foremost, you're like, Paulie, what was your opinion on Joker? Did you like the film? Did you not like the film?
Yeah, I loved it. You know, it's when I say I loved it. I loved its filmmaking, when its themes. It's not a film I would go and rewatch all the time, though. I
Yeah.
don't know if that makes sense.
No, that makes sense.
Oh,
You can appreciate
okay.
it, but it's not a rewatcher. Yeah.
Right. I mean, I'll probably, I would love to rewatch it at this point. It's been a couple of years now,
Yeah.
but it's a very different film. And I would not rewatch Logan, even though I appreciated some of it. I don't know if
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah. Okay.
Tom, what about yourself? Oh, he's disappeared. He's gone.
Sorry, what was that?
What did you think about Joker?
I went into it thinking I was going to hate it, and I didn't hate it. It had a few issues, but other than that, I ended up liking it more than I did, considering it kind of reminded me of when a cartoon show would basically do homage to some movie. You know?
Yeah, I can see that. Fair
so it's basically like Joker doing a take on Taxi Driver and King of Comedy kind of thing.
Yep. Yeah, okay.
I'm actually more interested in the sequel than I thought I would be, simply because I'm intrigued by this idea of Lady Gaga playing Harley Quinn, and the movie potentially, from what I heard, basically being about her descent into madness, and that's where the musical aspect comes in. So
and also the title, Madness.
Yeah, and it'll be like a love affair between the two, and her falling in love with him, simultaneously going crazy. So I think it'd be interesting, especially considering I liked the take on the first movie, like how it was shot and done, and the whole Taxi Driver feel to it. So I'm curious to see how they emulate, like, maybe late 70s musicals or whatever they'll be trying to emulate with this film here, and the gritty griminess of the world that we see from the previous film. So yeah.
Tom, did you see Lady Gaga in Star is Born?
No, I didn't, but considering she got the praise she did for that, I'm willing to give her a shot in this, and she's at least from about the same area that Harley's supposed to be from, so I mean, the accent I'm not too worried about.
Cool.
Yeah. Nick, what did you think of Joker?
So I literally had zero expectations going into that movie, and I enjoyed it. I liked the different take on Joker that they portrayed in the movie, and I also thought it was a lot darker than I thought it would be. Like, after I got done watching it, like, I felt like I needed to, like, go cleanse my movie palette with, like, cartoons or something, like something that's, a little bit more lighthearted. So it was very dark, but I enjoyed it. I liked it. I've seen it 2 or 3 times at this point. But like Paulie was saying, it's not. It doesn't have a whole lot of rewatchability for me. The other 2 times I watched it, I was watching it with other people that hadn't seen it, and and I was like, you guys definitely need to watch it. So I ended up watching it with them. But yeah, I'm looking forward. I'm not a Lady Gaga fan at all. I did like her in A Star Is Born. I saw that. I thought it was a really good movie, and it had a very downer ending twist to it. I'm not going to spoil it for people that haven't seen it, but but I liked it. I'm not a fan of hers, but you know, I hope she pulls it off. I hope it's the sequel turns out to be good.
Well, first image has been revealed, and I think there's a lot to go into here. So, this is just a zoomed in shot, right?
That's new.
So, yeah. This was shared recently. Is it like 2 days ago by Todd Phillips? So,
Oh my
this is
gosh.
obviously sharing this over on Instagram. Day one, our boy Joker. Now, there's a few things to sort of dive into. One is that it's great to see Joaquin Phoenix really commit to the role, right? Like he fluctuates so wildly with his weight, but this is good. Like this is what you want for an actor that's really committed to a role. I don't want to hear now like we get from like Bryce Dallas Howard talking about, oh well, they asked the casting agent what my weight would be for Jurassic World. Yeah, it's important, love. Right? People want to, like, you need to fit the character. If the character is going to be doing certain things, your weight needs to indicate that you can do those things. It's just the way of the world, right? Your weight your physicality, your aesthetics embodies a character. And Arthur Fleck being this sort of weird, emaciated dude, way more unnerving than if he was a fat guy, right? Like it's important, because it's characteristics, it's traits of the madness coming through. So this shot's beautiful, right? Obviously, he's to me, right? I look at this shot and there's a lot to unpack. One, emaciated as hell. He's clearly just a broken man at this point. We see him on that high at the end of Joker, and now he's in Arkham Asylum. And he's just being shaven, right? Like he's just being shaven. He's this sort of broken man. The composition of the shot, beautiful, right? You've got the nice sort of film grain coming through there in the background. Probably doesn't come through massively on stream. But go look at Todd Phillips' own Instagram. You can see it, the sort of film grain coming through the bokeh. The range on this lens, it's a really nice lens. You can see it. It's a really well-composed shot. And then for the physicality aspect, we come down here and he's almost got these sort of like pock marks. And I'd have to go back and look at Joaquin Phoenix and other things. If this is him or this is him as this character, this sort of pock marking on his arms, that of which, like an addict would have, like a smackhead, a heroin addict. It's that sort of, where they sort of go cold turkey and start sort of gnawing at themselves, but also a sign of, trying to be PC about it, but issues, where you sort of attack yourself. But that was my sort of initial thinking of this whole thing, just from the image. And I know, Tom, you need to go soon. So let's get your thoughts first and foremost.
I'm glad he's back. I mean, this image doesn't really give me much to go on. I mean,
come on, dive into it. Look at it. Iconography. Look at the framing.
You pretty much said everything that anybody who could, analyze it could say at this point. I mean, he's clearly in Arkham Asylum, probably. It's probably early on in the film. I mean, is this supposed to be his first day of shooting? Is that what?
It is day one, yeah.
Todd Phillips is okay. So there.
Well, it says day one, yeah. Day one, our boy Joker.
I can't wait to see what Harley looks like. I can't wait to see what they both look like in full regalia, more so. So yeah.
Yeah. Nick, any sort of additional thoughts on all of this?
I agree. He kind of looks like a strung out crackhead or something.
Yeah.
I mean, you definitely got to admire him as a actor. Getting his weight and getting that skinny for this role. I mean, he's definitely committed to the part for sure, which I can appreciate. So, and his performance in the first one was great, and I'm not really expecting anything less in the second one.
Yeah. Yeah, I think so. From sort of my side of things, additionally, when we're talking about Lady Gaga as Harley Quinn. A lot of people rag on this film when it was announced that there would be musical elements in it, but I often think that those people are sort of overlooking just how important a part music had to play in the first one. You know, from the sort of strung out dancing scenes, the dancing down the stairs scene, to the bathroom scene, the sending the clown scene. Like, music was actually a really big part of the first film, and so it makes sense to build on that element and have, you know, that sort of madness come through in another musical element through someone else's point of view, be it Lady Gaga's, because it's a different type of madness. So if you're using this sort of musical element to depict like a euphoric madness, which we saw in the first one with Arthur Fleck, especially in the toilet, you know, the sort of logical sidestep from that would be to have, you know, a different musical manifestation of the madness in another character, which I think, you know, I'm quite looking forward to that. I think that's going to be quite fun, as long as they can keep it creepy.
Yeah, I was one of those people that was concerned on the musical aspect of it. But I think when most people think musical, they're thinking The Showman, Mary Poppins,
It's not
you
really
know,
that.
the classical musical. I think this is going to be like when they say this is going to have a musical aspect to it, like a musical. I think it's going to be a very different take than the norm, you know, musicals that people
from
know
what I'm
from the
gathering, it's going to
past.
be all in like Harley's head.
Yeah, it was from her point of view, the musical.
Yeah,
that's
from
what
what
I
I'm
heard, yeah.
what I'm gathering. So like, I wouldn't be surprised if like they set her character up like she's like really into like musicals and stuff like that. So that'll play into why, you know, when she starts this dissension into madness, she creates this world of musicals in her head, kind of thing.
Yeah.
And I think that'll kind of maybe show us a little bit more. Like a lot of people were wondering about the first movie, is like, is it real or is it all in his head? And we kind of saw that some of it was in his head. So we'll kind of see. I think that's where this movie is going to go too. Is like we'll have to ask ourselves at certain points: is like, okay, is this really happening or is this in one of their heads? Now we got two characters to worry about.
Yeah, when I watch this, I'm literally going to be trying to see if I can pick out what the twist is going to be in this movie, because you know there's going to be one. They had one in the first one, and I guarantee you they're setting up another weird, strange twist in this one. So I'm definitely going to be looking for it.
Well, I mean, I mean, the title alone, you know, Folie à deux, Madness for Two. That alone, it opens up a very interesting premise for the sort of dissension into madness. And, you know, are we viewing it through one person's lens? Is the madness, is it only Arthur Fleck? Is he literally imagining someone else going insane with him, just like he was imagining the dates and things and all that going well? And like that, I don't think they'll do that again. I think that'd be silly, but, you know, to sort of retread that. But what if it's the, you know, the sort of the opposite to that, and you have Harley Quinn going mad and sort of, you know, I guess sort of idealizing Arthur Fleck.
Bad romance, gaga, rah rah rah.
Copyright strike for that amazing rendition, Tom.
I just saw Catherine Kenner is going to be in this film too. The girl who was the wife for the 40-year-old virgin.
Oh yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I wonder if she's like a doctor or something like that.
Yeah, she's in this movie. Yeah, I actually just watched 40-Year-Old Virgin again this last weekend with somebody that had never seen it.
Wow.
That's Phillips's wife.
Is it really?
Is it?
Yep.
Okay.
I didn't
that
even
makes
know.
sense then.
Yeah.
Well, you got Brendan Gleeson in there as well. He's joined the cast.
And on the note of the unreliable narrator, that Joker is one of the best examples of that, as far as I'm concerned. So if they play that role again, I'm not going to be too hurt. Because usually those kind of movies drive me nuts.
Yeah, I think I think there's a lot of people that really, because so many people were against this film when it was announced with Joaquin Phoenix as well. And then absolutely just smashed it. Like that, it's one of the only films I watched that year twice in theaters. Like I very rarely go to watch a film twice in theaters, just because it's so, it takes a long time and it's so expensive. And can I really be bothered? Is it worth it? But I really enjoyed that film. Like, enjoyed it is kind of the wrong word. I didn't enjoy it like, oh, I'm enjoying this film. Like, it's an experience. It was a good film to sort of immerse yourself in, and there's a lot going on, so much so that I enjoyed that element of the experience, if that makes any sense. So I'm excited to see what this one comes together with.
And we don't know what the time frame is in this, or any of the plot, like where it takes place after the first one or anything, do we? I don't think they've released any of that, have they?
No, they've not released anything. And the thing is that it's literally, he's in Arkham Asylum. That's it. That's all we know. The other interesting element to take into account is that this is the only DC movie to receive the green light under David Zaslav. That's it.
Well, after the money that the first one made, I mean, I'm not really surprised.
No, of course not. But that's a good sign in and unto itself, right?
Yeah, definitely.
David Zaslav coming in, going, well, that made money. Have you got a good script? Let me read the script. Yeah, cool, go. But this was greenlit pre-James Gunn, Peter Safran. I'm sure this supersedes any of that involvement as well. Because I know Todd Phillips had some rumors to be taking the James Gunn role. I would imagine David Zaslav just says, go do your thing. Go do your thing. And it's sort of separate to the DC Studios thing. Obviously still under it, but
well, and this is why it draws me to wonder, and why I've asked a lot of questions of my sources about the whole Batman thing, and the most I can get out of it is it's kind of up in the air. Not like it's not happening, but like many have agreed when I've pointed out, the Joker 2 got greenlit right away. I heard from my sources that day one, when Zaslav walks in the door, he wants to see or hear treatment for Joker 2. And almost immediately that same week, we heard that Joker 2 got greenlit. I can't remember if it was that same week or within a matter of a couple of days, actually. So I was like right there. Yeah, I was like, boom. Okay, well, there goes exactly what I had heard on that part. Now the Batman, what I heard on that was, I want to hear a treatment for Batman 2, but it has to be shorter. You got to work on the chemistry between Catwoman and Batman, and it can't be as fucking dark. That was that was the 3 stipulations. But at that time, Batman was still technically in theaters, getting out of theaters in that rough area. So they were still waiting to see where it landed. And then that's where I was told the whole situation about how it sent mixed signals to the brass, because it didn't quite make the money they were hoping it would make. Was it a failure? No. But it was expected to make $1 billion. That's the difference. It was expected, as opposed to something like Black Adam, which, to their expectations, did actually go above some of them. It was the Rock's biggest solo opening ever. In some cases, some people are arguing it will maybe actually make some money. It makes me question how much was actually spent on the money in the first place. So in this case, it's a little bit different situation as opposed to the Batman, where, I mean, we heard that the cost of that may have exceeded the $200 million that they say they spent on it. So,
well, we know that was the initial reports of budget. That was pre-COVID. COVID then happened. The reshoots happened. The general industry standard during COVID was it would add an additional 25% to the budget. That was the general rule of thumb.
But going off our conversation earlier about Avatar, one of the things that hurt it in the box office potentially was its running time. So that was one of the only reasons they were kind of keeping it in the running. And I had heard consistently since then, the Penguin will decide whether or not, they get a Batman 2. And when the story come out with Matt Reeves saying, oh, we'll be lucky if we don't get a Batman 2 by 2025, that tells me Zaslav's in no fucking hurry.
Well, so it also going back to Joker 2, I mean, it just goes to show just how much of a businessman he is, looking
that's
at
what I'm saying.
Going, yep, 100%. This is great. Let's give it the green light. I mean, I'm really looking forward to this film. First and smashed it. First ever R-rated movie to gross over $1 billion.
Yeah.
It's pretty fucking amazing. That's a pretty big deal. So it's been a lot of R-rated movies, for goodness sake.
Another reason why they expected the Batman to make $1 billion right there. if his own villain
Yeah.
makes more money than the main character, there's something wrong
Yeah.
there.
And then 12 Oscar nominations. 12.
Yeah, and it was only what was it, Tom? 70 million budget or something like that.
60.
Oh, it
I
wasn't
thought.
even that much. I was going to say it was a little less than that. Yeah.
Yeah, I thought it was a $60 million budget. I mean, it
I'd be
took
surprised
home-
if they spent that much.
yeah, it took home more profit than Endgame. You know, like, because everyone says Endgame's the highest grossing. Yeah, but not profit wise, not actual profit. You know, Joker actually made more money for the studio than Endgame did.
Oh, it's definitely in the top ring of most profitable films of all time.
So I got
Percentile
here.
wise or percentage wise, yeah.
It was a budget of
Yeah.
between 55 and 70 million, and it made 1.074 billion.
Yeah, absolutely smashed it.
Yeah,
absolutely smashed it. So Tom, I'm aware you need to disappear now, my dude.
Pretty soon here, yeah. I got about maybe 5 minutes left. I know there's some other DC stuff on the docket.
he's been waiting for the DC stuff. So come on, let's go.
Well, yeah. Well, it's not really other DC stuff specifically. It's more. Well, it is.
Patty
It's Wonder Woman
Jenkins and
director
whatnot.
Patty
Yeah.
Jenkins. Yeah.
Mm.
So,
Because we dropped a video on this yesterday. Yeah.
well, you tell us then. You give us a rundown. What do you think?
Well, we didn't get into the Rogue Squadron part of it so much.
Well,
But
tell
yeah,
it.
this is
Well,
just,
this is more just a character development piece of
Yeah.
Patty Jenkins, who she is as a person. What's your information on her?
well, that was kind of what our video was too, is this overall idea of, Patty Jenkins is kind of being the seemingly the common denominator in a lot of these issues. Where you go back to her issue with Thor 2, she walked regardless of how the film turned out. Right there is an indication she couldn't take studio notes. Wonder Woman was initially a fucking mess. Wonder Woman 84, we saw how that fucking turned out.
I never even watched that film. I heard so much bad stuff about it. I was like, man,
Yeah.
I'm not even wasting my time.
And look at Rogue Squadron. Like, the thing with that's funny is I think that was one of Bob Iger's babies, because that's one of the only Star Wars announced things that we got that had a trailer to it. Right? If you remember. And then
Yeah,
there wasn't
her on
a
the runway.
problem. Yeah, and there wasn't really a problem till all of a sudden, supposedly her and Kathleen Kennedy had met and they butt heads and she walked. And it sounds very consistent with what we've heard of Patty Jenkins. Same thing here with this DC news. And I speculated that was what happened. And lo and behold, the Wrap put out that report that's basically what happened. She came in with her plan. They said, this doesn't jive with what we're doing. Not only that, it doesn't make a lick of sense. And she got all fucking flustered and walked the fuck out the door, and was so pissed that she decided to email Mike DeLuca, the head of Warner Pictures,
a Wikipedia definition of character
link
arc.
with the definition of character arc. She was so pissed. So that means that bitch was fuming.
Mate.
And they're not even like, get the fuck out. They were just like, no, we don't like this. Can you come back with something different? They were even giving her the option to come back again, to work within. Yeah. To work within James Gunn's probably ideas and stuff that they have planning going forward. So like when everybody panicked about this, yeah, exactly. So when everybody panicked about this, I'm like, hold up, time the fuck out. Just because Patty Jenkins Wonder Woman 3 is dead does not mean Wonder Woman is dead.
Yeah.
So from there, you can extrapolate the rest. Yeah, exactly. Because Gal Gadot, she's not stupid. She's not going nowheres. So
she's the star, not Patty Jenkins. I think this is the problem with some of these directors. They get like a lick of sort of success, and they're like, it's me. That's not Patty. Love. You didn't work on that film alone anyway. Like, it's not just you. Like, there's other people involved.
And the thing is, the first one got fairly decent amount of praise to it, but she didn't write the first one. She just directed it.
Yeah, you got to remember, they reshot and re-edited the shit out of it too.
Yeah.
Terrible. I mean, it's just laughable. And again, like, yeah, you mentioned Thor, right?
The rumor is Zack Snyder shot most of the third act of Wonder Woman.
Oh god.
Oh wow, I didn't even hear that. That's crazy.
Well, no, that makes sense because of all the weird grey CGI. I can believe that. Grey CGI.
Not only that, it's shot like it was shot on a soundstage. Especially that last fight.
Well, yeah, it was like it was an airfield, wasn't it? So very soundstagey.
on a roof on top of it all. It was like dark and most of the background you can't see. And that's what we had heard from the test screenings, is that it sucked. Yeah. And the ending was the worst part. So they went back and reshot the ending and
they don't do test screenings, Tom.
Who says this? Who says this?
God, people on Twitter all the time
about the Indiana Jones thing. Probably.
Yeah, they don't do
but
test
they
screenings.
do.
Yeah.
How do you think, like, I revealed what, mate, what?
Yeah.
Internal screenings and other things too. I love how they love to play with the terminology, but yeah.
I talked about Hellraiser before it came out. I was bang on about everything with that. Bang on about Candyman, everything. They're fucking these people. Oh my god.
Well, to be fair, anybody could have predicted that Candyman was going to suck, you know.
Yeah, well, but I knew exactly what was happening.
I know. I'm just joking. It was a joke.
But yeah, so I mean, Patty Jenkins, like I said, yeah, I mean, seeing how many projects she's left now, you start to, and I use this phrase. I made a video about this, and I used the sort of analogy of, like, if you meet one arsehole a day, they're probably the arsehole. But if you meet 20 arseholes a day, or everyone you come into contact with is the arsehole, you're probably the arsehole, right? And that's the deal with Patty Jenkins, is that she is the problem here, from what it appears to be. You know, she keeps leaving projects, regardless of how Thor turned out. Like, obviously, it wasn't a good film, but she certainly wouldn't have made it any better. That's for sure.
Yeah, it could have been worse.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I remember after Wonder Woman 2 bombed, I was like, oh my God, this Rogue Squadron is going to be god awful. I hope they boot her off this project. Sure enough, she's gone off the project.
Well, let's look at it this way. The one, her big claim to fame is Monster, right? It's based on a true story. You can't really fuck that up. Not only that, you have Charlize Theron under a ton of makeup giving the performance of a lifetime. All you really have to do is just kind of sit back and go action.
The movie makes itself.
Exactly. But when you see the proof is in the pudding when it comes to Wonder Woman 84, and she couldn't get how do you fuck up Wonder Woman? Like, seriously. Like, she was like, here, Zach, hold my fucking beer. Like, what the fuck? Because I couldn't even, like, I'm watching Wonder Woman 3. I'm like, is this a movie? Like, they actually put this out, spent money on this? People actually, like, this is a serious thing? Like, I was waiting for any moment for the movie to stop and be like, no, that was actually Hollywood making a Hollywood movie. The real Wonder Woman movie is about to start now. That's just part of a joke. No, like, I'm waiting for the movie to actually kick into a movie, and it's like, this is it. And you get to that climax, and I don't even know how I made it through the whole fucking movie, because it's like, it really feels like a joke, like a practical joke on the audience. It's insane. And if she comes back, and the words we heard were the third film was going to have to do with the Lazarus pit, bringing back Steve again.
Oh, good God. So they're going to bring him back again in the third one?
I don't think they are going to, but that was her plan.
Oh, jeez.
Oh, very, very inventive. Creative geniuses here. God damn.
Quick fun fact for everybody
Sorry
in the
about
chat.
that rant, but yeah.
Quick fun fact for everybody in the chat on what we were talking about earlier. The most profitable movie of all time was My Big Fat Greek Wedding. From
I knew it had to be an indie film. I was thinking it was either that or Blair Witch.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think that
look up The Conjuring and the Paranormal Activity movies are another ones that are very high grossing as far as the percentage to what they cost to what they make.
Yeah, they're in the top as well.
Tom, did you also mention Cleopatra?
Oh yeah, let's not forget about Cleopatra. We don't even know what the fuck happened on that one.
Well,
I just
tell him.
fell apart.
Tell him.
I don't know. I don't really know.
Well, what we do know, Chad, is that it was a Jenkins, project with Gal Gadot starring her as Cleopatra. That's not happening anymore.
And she's gone. And they brought in the chick who made Black Widow.
Oh yeah, I remember that. Hearing about them doing that.
Yeah.
I didn't even know that even got axed.
Quietly.
Yeah.
Well, it hasn't been axed yet that we know of, but it's not going to be made with Patty Jenkins anyway.
No.
Like I said, they brought in the director of Black Widow, but we'll see if it still happens.
Tom, do you need to disappear now? I think, is that right?
Yeah, I'll probably have to get out of here, and I don't know if there was anything else you wanted me to comment on, but
well, I was just going to get to some super chats, basically.
All right. Well, is there any for me specifically, or?
So we had from Tom working for $2 says saying that feeling everyone here isn't vapid. And again from Tom working for $5 says in this universe, could he be entirely hallucinating Batman? So yeah, I mean, you can comment on that one. That's an interesting one.
Well, I don't think they'll actually have Batman in this universe, but you never know what they'll bring in this one. I think this one will be purely. I think this one might even be more from Harley's, from Harley's perspective, even maybe talking about.
Yeah, that's what I heard. It was from her point of view. So, you know, whether that being the.
Yeah, I don't think Batman will ever be a part of this universe, though.
Which I don't think that's a bad thing. I don't think that's a bad thing. I think that can work as it is. So.
Nah, he's still a kid. So he'll be a kid for a while. You don't need to do that.
Yeah, unless they have him hallucinate a version of a Batman, you know, obviously not being a child and stuff, but like a manifestation.
Would that be a little too much on the nose? Like if you have like this, say at the end, near the end, like this moment where he's thrown back in Arkham Asylum, and then out of the shadows, he keeps seeing this growing thing out of the shadows, and it's like, your future doom coming to get you, and all like, you know, I think that would just be a little too.
I wouldn't like it like that. I mean, Tom, you had to do it like that. I wouldn't like that, obviously.
Like he's having a vision
but what
of the
else
future.
can you do? Like really, yeah. Like what else can you do? I mean,
I don't know.
That's the thing is, Joker has no real fear.
Unless you fast forward in time, like 20 years later, you know.
He's one of the few guys who has no real fear of the bat. You know what I mean? Like in the end.
Yeah. Well, that's why the dynamic is so on point, because you know.
In fact,
Batman is almost afraid of the Joker because of what.
Yeah, they kind of respect each other in that sense, like because that's like the difference between the Joker and the Riddler. The Riddler's downfall is his ego, you know.
Yeah,
stuff like that. So, and then Catwoman, usually it's her love for Bruce that gets in the way, you know. So there you go. Same for him too if she's involved, you know. So like there's that dynamic there. And Penguin and him, they just don't like. Yeah, he just thinks he's the most lowest creature on Earth, basically. Loathsome or whatever you want to call it. But yeah, I don't think they'll ever cross over too many other characters from you.
What have you got coming up, Tom?
Midnight's Edge After Dark in about an hour. Hopefully I get some food in me before then. Other than that, just working hard and hardly getting anything out. You know how it is.
Yeah. Well, everyone, please do check out Midnight's Edge After Dark. That's linked in the description box, everyone. And please do head on over there, hit subscribe. If you like the content, please do give this video a thumbs up. But Tom, we will catch you hopefully on Thursday if you're around.
Yeah, I should be here Thursday. And yeah, Bane also has no fear of the bat because he was born in the dark. It's like Winnie the Pooh and shit. It's like, oh, bother, Batman. I have to break your back. Oh, Pooh. All right, kids. Take care of yourselves.
See you, buddy.
Later, man.
Oh dear. What was this you were sending me? So
I was just sending a couple things that are trending right now, or you know, the thing with Violent Night, how it had a good holdover.
Yeah,
I haven't seen that yet.
22.8% drop. That's fucking spectacular.
I mean, that's nothing.
Well, the average is 40. That's the average drop off.
Right.
So when I say 60 is big, you know, with Marvel movies, that's a big drop off. Like 23% is fucking nothing. That's amazing drop off.
Yeah, Tom might be onto something. I mean, occasionally Tom is right. Most of the time he's not, but occasionally, maybe on this one, Tom is right.
Well, what about what was the budget for Violent Night? Do we know?
We'll look it up, but it is a very entertaining film.
Yeah.
You saw it, Paulie?
Yes.
You liked it?
Yes.
Yeah, really.
I'm trying to go see it before Christmas.
Did a mini review on the
Yeah,
second
we did
channel.
a mini review. 20 million.
20 million.
Mm-hmm.
$20 million. Do you think it's
Wow.
that's surprising? Doesn't
That's
look like it's a
pretty
$20
low.
million movie. No, I was gonna say that seems expensive.
Well, it's got a lot
20
of actors
million?
though. It does have a lot of name actors, so that's where you.
Yeah. Okay.
And even though they shot in and around this one basically house or whatever, I mean,
Yeah.
that takes there's a
Yeah.
couple
Yeah.
of nifty elements.
I'm guessing there was some special
Do not take the
effects in there.
kids. This is not a kids film.
It's R-rated, isn't it? Strong R-rated. So
Yeah.
Would you say this is a strong R, Paulie, or a light R?
It's pretty strong.
Okay.
It's pretty strong. And I'll probably clip this if we're gonna talk about this. I'll probably clip it.
yeah, clip it. I mean, always
do it.
take anything giant freaking robot says with a pinch of salt, though. But I presume this isn't actually them as an exclusive. This is just that they're reporting on it. So yeah, take what you talk about this, mate. This is your wheelhouse, my dude.
So we all love actors when they give interviews, right? They say the greatest things.
Oh, I love it. Yeah, man.
So
Jennifer Lawrence.
All true.
Right. A la Jennifer Lawrence.
Best thing ever recently.
A couple of weeks ago, Antonio Banderas, on his press junket tour for Puss in Boots, was asked who would be your choice for the next Zorro. He said Tom Holland.
You saw that. I like that.
Yeah. Catherine Zeta-Jones and Lisette Oliveira are probably doing their junket for National Treasure. Get ready for it. The Edge of History, a new Disney Plus television series with no Nick Cage.
Another fail.
Okay. Now, so that's who Lisette is the set to be the young lead, with Catherine's going to be the bad lady. So here she's asked probably who should be the next Zorro, and she says Lisette. She has all the elements to be the next Elena de la Vega. I would love to see a lady Zorro. Okay. All right. I mean, we all know Jennifer Lawrence was the first Zorro. So
well, we know that Jennifer Lawrence was actually the first actor.
That's right.
And camera
of all time.
Yeah. Right. So let's just go with this. If Lisette Oliveira was the first, would be the next Zorro. I mean, do you guys know who she is?
I do not.
No. Literally never heard of her.
Yeah, I haven't either.
I haven't.
That's your first problem there, right?
If I see her, I might recognize her.
My problem, is it?
Right. No. Like anyone who's gonna go see a film, like I'm talking to Catherine Zeta. First problem is no one knows who Lisette is yet.
Yeah.
Now, let me share screen with you. Let's bring up Lisette. And she is the new lead of the National Treasure.
I can't wait.
Okay. Beautiful lady.
Oh, wow.
Beautiful lady. I have not seen
Spicy Latina.
Spicy Latina.
Oh. Love a Latina.
I believe Mexican American.
Love my time in Miami. So good. Anyway, sorry.
No. I could totally see her being a female Zorro. Absolutely. I actually
zoom in a bit. Can you zoom in?
Oh, zoom. Here you go. I got a couple shots.
Oh, you'll zoom.
Here we go. Let me zoom.
Get all the zoomed in. Oh, it keeps shrinking the image. What's going on with that?
I actually don't think they make her look good at all in this.
Why do they keep making hot women look gross? What the fuck?
There she is.
What's wrong with people?
There you go. So,
yeah, okay. Like she's got a sort of like a screen presence.
She's got a presence, right?
Yeah.
I mean, so depending on how you write the story for a female Zorro, why not? And if this one has the chops, I mean, we know she's got the looks, which is It's a beautiful lady.
Yeah.
I think this is a way better idea than Tom Holland being Zorro.
Yeah, it's a
Oh
little
God,
bit.
please
Yeah.
no.
Tom Holland can be everything.
Now,
Yeah.
now
Apparently.
there's one thing that she can't be. She can't be a Zor. Like if you change the name Zorro to Zora, that is not a nice word for women. So we can't have that
No.
as a name. All right.
What is Zorro?
Oh, it's like prostitute.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, so she's gonna be a female Zora.
She's gonna go around and sell herself for money to all
There
the
you go.
other,
And
to
then
all the bad
carve
guys,
Z's
and
and
then come
carve
back
Z's
and
in
kill
their
them all.
chest. She's gonna be a sadomasochistic working girl, carving Z's into their chest and stuff. That's it.
Sounds like they could turn that into a horror Zorro film.
Well, it just sounds just.
Listen. We're gonna know if this actor has any leading presence at all. Very soon with the show. As far as National Treasure, but yeah, there you have it. Jennifer Lawrence or Lisa Oliveira for Zorro. Sometimes we have to open our minds to
best actress ever.
Yeah, sometimes, guys. Thank you.
Oh, I'd leave her up. What are you
Oh,
doing?
okay. Well,
That's
right. All right. I was gonna put it back up. I mean, the chat is like, hell no, we don't want a female Zorro. It's like, come on, guys, come on.
Well, yeah, I mean, I can see why, because the sort of feminization of everything is getting irritating. Like, I can see that. I understand that, but
yeah,
there is a
was
precedent
female
for
Zorro
it.
in the past. There was
there is a precedent for it, right?
Right, and she was pretty hot.
So that's important to know.
They gotta be fine.
Yeah, you're like ultra feminine, sexy with it. That's what it's got to be.
Yeah, and then So that is from Catherine Zeta-Jones, just espousing wisdom.
As always. So next topic is Marvel making a massive misstep with John Krasinski.
Again?
Well, it's just with John Krasinski. Obviously, whenever the name Reed Richards came up, Mr. Fantastic, everyone was like, yeah, John Krasinski. It was all the fan art. John Krasinski, do John Krasinski. He was obviously in Doctor Strange 2, The Multiverse of Madness. But he's come out and basically said, nah, man, that was just one thing. We just asked it once on the off chance, and that's it. As opposed to a big overall deal, which is normally what they do. But obviously, if they did that, they probably would have put him off. But there are ways to obviously, manipulate these sort of contracts into being beneficial for the fans, which is what this is. It's a misstep for the fans, I think, personally.
Yeah.
So John Krasinski suggests that his, Mr. Fantastic was just a one-off, right? And this is the quote, speaking to the Wrap, says, there aren't any discussions at all. This is about further playing. The only discussion I had, so there's none happening now, and the only conversation he had was actually in the second to last week of Jack Ryan. Kevin Feige called and said, would you ever fly to LA and play in our sandbox for a day? I was honored to do it. I flew right from Budapest when we wrapped and went right to the Doctor Strange set. I'm a big fan of all those characters and that world, so to get to play in that sandbox for one day was a real thrill. And then speaking about how he died, he says it's totally insane to be in a room with all those people. And again, to be a part of that narrative is crazy. But yeah, being turned into spaghetti wasn't my end goal in life as far as how it goes in the Marvel universe. But you know what it was, fun nonetheless. So the real take home from this is that, we've got the reboot of Fantastic Four underway. We've got no cast of it. That's set to hit theaters February 14th, 2025. So soon-ish, relatively, if you think, having no casting or anything. And it doesn't look like they've signed on the individual that everyone wanted to play and was not serviced correctly in the film that we did see him in, to further play in the role of Mr. Fantastic. I mean, what do you guys think of this? I think it's a bit of a shame, to be honest. I think it's another misstep and big missteps for Marvel.
Yeah, I think it's a complete travesty on their part. All the fans wanted it. He looks like the character. He's a great actor. Uh, the, I, but who knows what happened behind the scenes? Maybe they did try getting him for more and it didn't work out, or they can't really talk. I mean, who knows? But I would have tried to seal that deal for sure, because that's what the fans wanted to see, and they really got to knock it out of the park with this Fantastic Four film because they have not gotten it right yet.
Yeah.
So this is a pretty big deal. This film, in the comic book movie genre, for comic book films. So, they're already kind of getting off to a bad start. But whoever they
Phase
do
4
get,
was a disaster.
oh
So.
yeah. Whoever they do get, maybe they'll play the part just fine, and everybody will be fine with it. But I think if they would have got him, that would have put a whole lot more excitement behind this film moving forward for sure. And I think it's a missed opportunity on their part. And I think he probably would have done it if they could have worked a deal out.
Yeah, I agree. Unless he's doing some directing, which obviously he had, before. But
yeah,
I don't know. I just think it's a bit of a shame. I mean, Paulie, thoughts, good sir?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, they fucked it up.
Yeah.
That's just
well, it's just a shame. It's disappointing. Like, maybe he's just keeping tight-lipped. Maybe he's pulling the wool over everyone's eyes. I don't know.
I'd like to see him direct and play in it because I think
that'd
he's
be
a great
good.
Director too.
Well, he did A Quiet Place, didn't he?
Yeah,
I think did he direct that? Yeah. So
he
wrote he wrote that film. I think didn't he? And directed that film.
Yep, and starred in it.
Listen, they just have a big problem right now with white male leads, and the problem. Right. The problem is that most of these people. No, the problem is that they're very popular.
Come on, don't be racist, Paulie. They're white. They're the problem.
Chris Pratt, Krasinski, all the ones that we love, that done a great job. This was willed. Fans have been wanting Krasinski to take a crack at Reed, and that's where they fucked up, man. What are they gonna do?
I mean, the fans all wanted Patrick Stewart in the X-Men movies, and they went after him, and got him for that role. I think they should probably try to do the same thing here. But if he's, I don't know. I guess we'll find out if it's actually true and he's actually not going to be in it, later on down the road. But I think it would not be a good thing, or I think it would be a lot better of a thing if they could work it out and make it happen.
Yeah, I completely agree. I think like the problem with Marvel at the moment is that there's no sense of anticipation for a next movie to look forward to what's going to happen with the story,
Exactly.
Whether it be seeing another character or not. Like, we don't have anyone that we're following specifically story-wise. No overarching narrative either. And, they're bringing in fresh characters, but you need some really good actors to carry that, and John Krasinski is a great actor. So bringing him in, I think, would reassure a lot of people, or at least give people a little bit more of a positive outlook on the future of Marvel. Because at the moment, it's not that positive.
Like, you remember all the way up through Infinity War and Endgame, every time a Marvel movie was set to release,
That's big.
The buzz around it every single time. It's like, next Marvel movie's coming out. Let's see what happens. Stay for the end credits. Everybody's talking about it. Everybody's going to see it. There's excitement around all of it. Then they get to Phase 4. They Captain America's gone. Iron Man's gone. Their two biggest draws, and now it's just in the toilet. The shows on Disney Plus are terrible, in my opinion. Phase 4 is a complete mess and a disaster. It's like they've just fallen off the wagon, and the excitement for these movies is gone.
Yeah, Yeah, they absolutely have. 100%.
Right. And where you could have, you know, get some, you know, keep that goodwill going. That little goodwill, even though it was a stupid cameo. It's a terrible cameo, first of all. And it's not Krasinski's fault at all.
The universe's smartest man reveals everyone's weaknesses. Are you fucking dunce?
I could not. This movie, by the way, is on my
film.
top 5 worst movies of the year.
Yeah, I really disliked it.
It's just, you know, but you had a little goodwill. You know, throw the fans a bone. Jesus Christ, is it gonna kill you? Is it gonna kill you?
Yeah, I tried getting through Doctor Strange 2 3 times. I fall asleep every time. I still have not seen the movie from start to finish.
Wow, man.
Every single time I try to finish the movie, I fall asleep every time.
Wow. That's brutal.
Yeah.
That is brutal.
One day I'll actually finish it, but I've never seen the Patrick Stewart scene, the Krasinski
not all
scene.
that, man.
I haven't seen any of it yet. I always fall asleep before it gets there.
The Illuminati scenes will make you hate them putting it in the film.
Ugh.
Because it's just so dumb and doesn't make any sense. You're like, oh, you fucking shit. What are you doing? Oh dear. Anyway, I thought we'd end on that. End on a high, I guess. We'll cover some more super chats real quick. So Tom Working says, my big no, I reject this. I'm presuming that's like my big fat Greek wedding. Gamer Cool 2048 for $2 says, badass a mustache, Paulie. Give us a twirl, Paulie.
Ah, there you go, right there.
There you go, mustachioed villain.
Yep, working
there. He's even got the name, the Latino slant. He's like a crime boss.
You put
kind of a hero.
You put beard oil in it, Paulie?
No, beard oil makes it shiny. I have wax.
Oh, okay.
I'm kind of a hero, though. Really,
a hero. Latino slant's not a hero's name. I'm not going to lie.
Yes, he is a hero. He is a hero. He is stamping out all the Wocosos and the Latinxers.
The Wocosos. Wow.
Absolutely, man. I'm a mustachio. I'm the toxic macho. Come on now.
Wow.
Let's go.
That's too much. It's too much macho for me.
Listen, the women love it, man. The dudes want to grow it. That's all I can say.
Well, have you not seen my little silver stripes? All right,
I've seen remind me of who's that guy in Lord of the Rings?
Oh, fuck off.
He's half asleep the whole time while he's losing his kingdom. Then he wakes up and he got that little shit.
Disrespect.
Theoden. Theoden.
This is cool, man. This is all natural. How cool is that?
Good,
whatever.
That's
whatever.
Come on now.
Disrespecting the beard.
This is greatness. This just made you some money.
Oh, it's greatness, is it?
Couple bucks. It's a couple bucks, but it made the channel money.
Well, it's actually YouTube takes a third of that, so it's even less than a couple bucks.
Whatever it is, that's between you and YouTube. I'm just saying. Boom.
Right,
Boom.
Yeah.
You know,
but you don't have to do what the wokus do with females. You know, lift the female up by, you know, pushing a man down. You don't need to raise your mustache up by pushing my beard down. All right, man.
Bro,
your mustache should stand on its own two. Its own two hairs there. Unbelievable.
Right. I'm trying to uplift the mustache. Right.
By pushing my beard down.
First thing you said, it was a villain. I'm like, I'm not a villain. I'm a hero, brother.
No, the Latino slant sounds like a villain. The name.
We just had so much fun with that one super chat.
I know. They're starting some beef here. Mustache beard beef.
They got their super chat money worth out of that one.
Yeah, there you go, guys. You want to support this never-ending story of a Latino slant mustache versus the H beard? Then keep doing a random super chat every now and then on these streams talking about it. We'll bring this beef back. I'm game. I'm game.
Listen, Nate, if I was to grow my beard, it would be
all
gray. So
Paulie.
You're looking good. You're looking good.
Listen.
I was giving you a compliment.
I don't think you start with listen. It doesn't sound
Nate,
positive, mate.
I'm just like letting you know, if I was to grow my beard, it would be
the whole thing.
It's pretty gray.
Paulie the Grey.
Yeah. I'm an old
There
man,
we go.
older
Yeah.
than you guys.
Yeah. Oh dear. Right. BG says, "All hail the Latino porn stash."
Órale, BJ. Oh, wait
do
a minute.
you find like does Romy say like it irritates her when you kiss her and stuff? What's the deal with that?
Okay, here's the real story here. She does not want me to get rid. She does not want me to get rid of it. She absolutely loves it, and I pretty much get a compliment every day when I'm like, out walking dogs or wherever I'm at. Guys are like, "That's a fucking great stash, bro." I'm like, "Cool, man. Thanks. You know, don't look at don't look at me too much. You know, chill.
Yeah.
Chill on the compliment.
green with envy.
No, but listen. I know Mexican Iron Man hates the stash. He's like, "How much would I have to super chat for you to shave it off?" I'm like, "Dude, Romy loves it. I'm keeping it for a while."
Yeah, if your girl likes it, you gotta keep it around.
Oh.
You gotta do it. I think
listen,
becoming synonymous with the slant. You gotta keep the tash.
Well, Nate, I have never grown this before. I've always grown like other, like a goatee or something like that. I've never grown a mustache.
Did you ever see me when I had my full blown,
no,
like long beard thing? Did you not see that?
No.
Nate was over there looking like Kratos from God of War.
It was pretty long.
We got to see it now. We got to see it now. Yeah, you got to keep Mama happy. Thank you.
I think I've got photos. I had it. I think I had it at Christmas or just before Christmas. I shaved it off. Yeah. I think it was quite long. Like it was a
last year.
Beefy, yeah, it was a beefy beard. Oh no! So I had it up until I'm looking back in my images. So I had it in October. Fucking hell. Yeah, that was quite long actually. That is a long beard.
Oh wow, yeah.
Wait, where's it? Let me see.
You were rocking it in the Great Stripes went all the way down too.
Yeah, man. See that? There you go.
Oh Jesus. Well, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, man.
That's pretty cool.
Awful. That got really annoying though. I just get rid of it after a while. Annoys the hell out of me. Anyway, right. Beard talk.
Beard talk.
Beard talk.
Yeah. Oil is for when you want to shine. Wax is when you want to shape it.
Okay.
This was sent to my PO box actually.
Oh, growth oil.
Oh.
Gorilla beard growth oil. I think this was sent as a bit of a joke actually. This was back when I didn't really have people like grow it back. Because whenever I shave the beard, people are like, "Oh, you shouldn't shave your beard." And then when I don't have the beard, they're like, "Grow it back." And then when I don't have it, people are always like, "Oh, people can't make up their mind. Don't have the beard, have the beard, don't have the beard, have the beard."
Does your skin get dry behind that mustache, Paulie?
No, like right here.
No, like behind the hairs, like.
Yeah, does it get like?
Does it get dry?
Do you find it gets oily? So not opposite to what you're asking, Nick. Because I used to use beard oil and stuff like that. And the oil used to get, like, I don't use beard oil anymore because it used to get all nasty. Like you'd end up like, it was good for the hair, but the skin underneath got not good. Not nice.
So far, I haven't had a problem with that. we're talking like men's grooming here.
Yeah.
It's kind of like,
yeah, we are.
Do you shave your balls too, Paulie? Tell us about that regiment.
What about the gooch, Paulie? We've lost Paulie. He's gone.
You did it, Nick. He got me to shut up. Yikes.
Oh dear. Love it. Love
Nick,
it.
man.
Right, anyway, let's
all right.
What have you guys got coming up?
Go first, Nick.
We got a couple videos scheduled this week. We actually just dropped our Picard Season 3 talk with Robert Meyer Burnett over on our Echo Base Entertainment channel, which was a very interesting conversation that Tom was also a part of, and a couple other folks. Paulie actually was in the stream and bounced.
Why didn't you invite me?
Well, at first I didn't know if he was going to show up and if we were even going to talk about it. Plus, we do it Saturday nights at 7, which is like what 1 in the morning.
I know.
Time?
Oh, so late. Yeah, I know.
I mean, you're welcome to if you're up that late on a Saturday night. Yeah, man, you shoot us a message and you can pop in anytime you want.
No, man, I'm up at like odd. So I think like last Wednesday I was awake until like 2 in the morning. So if you ever do it on like random days, I'll check when you're streaming and pester you in the chat. That's what we'll do.
Yeah. Sometimes we'll do random weekly chill streams like in the evenings on occasion, but our normal stream is just every Saturday night at 7 Central, which is very late for you.
So everyone check that out, ladies and gents. Paulie, what do you got coming up, buddy? Oh, he's busy waxing his mustache. Oh, he's back.
Oh, he's back. Jerks. Someone in the chat said, thanks for not answering Nick's questions. You're very welcome. You're very
There's always some point in time on these streams on Tuesdays and Thursdays where the stream completely goes off the rail. At some point in time, from start to finish, it's going to go off the rail at some point in time. Either the end, the middle, the beginning.
What?
I think it's like I lose my ability to my will and my ability to control it. I'm like, fucking say what you want, I don't care now. Like, whatever.
All right, I got a couple.
I'm done moderating.
I have a couple things. We have a live stream tomorrow.
I think about to say a Latin video. I was like, that's every
day.
Come on, that's just life.
It really is. It's called the Latino slant for a reason. So
I'd be disappointed if it wasn't.
Subscribe. Yeah.
I'd be like false advertising.
Celtic Viking lore every day on the Latino slant.
That's kind of programming.
That's racist, man.
Cultural appropriation.
Oh, tomorrow, guys, we're gonna have a movie trivia, live movie trivia with the members of Latino Slant. You get to come on and you win. You're gonna win Christmas gifts and all that good stuff. And then Saturday, I think I'm gonna have Cameron Pasha and Robert Meyer Burnett on. We're gonna go top 5 movies of 2022. Like we're gonna all share.
Awesome.
So yeah, that'll be fun. We got a lot of fun stuff. Latino Vikings. You need a sword. I have my swords over there. I have my sword. I have a couple of katana swords my dad gave me.
Very nice. Loads going on the main channel. There would have just been a video of Joker Follier dropped on the main channel. I will say I've got my Instagram back. So Mr_Nate_H over on Instagram. Please do check out the Instagram. I haven't I deleted it for a little while. I might delete it again, but still follow me because I pop back up every now and then and share very cute photos and videos of Jasper. So go on there.
Picture.
Was it
check
Mr.
it out.
_H?
Mr_Nate_H because Mr. Nate H was taken, which was annoying. So I had to put underscores in between everything. So yeah, please do check me out on there. Follow me over on Twitter at Mr. H Reviews. Check out everyone's channels in the description box. Thanks for joining us. These streams are every Tuesday and Thursday. The second channel is linked in the description box. They're long streams, 2 hours plus. Been sort of going over and stuff now. They just sort of develop, as we sort of find a groove with it as well, and topics and such. So we clip the videos and turn them into separate videos, so you don't have to watch the whole thing. I get it, but please do check out that second channel. But from me and everyone else,
wait a minute.
Thank you so much.
Did you get the membership?
Oh, yeah. Sorry, members. So Royston Parker been a member for 1 year. Member for 21 months.
21 months.
Actually.
Yeah.
And then Miss Zen has been a member for 11 months.
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. So yeah, thank you so much, everyone becoming members and things like that. I understand people have been saying, can we have members streams back? Yes. But, and there's a but, if you watch the start of this stream, I had really shitty Wi-Fi issues. So I need to sort that out first. I think what it is that this laptop goes onto the wrong band, like a 2.4 gigahertz rather than the 5 or something like that. Because the Wi-Fi is good, the Wi-Fi is solid. So I just need to figure that out first, and then we'll get that sorted. So yeah, they will come back.
Is your router close enough to run a cable directly to it so you can plug directly in?
That's what I have.
It's downstairs. I've got to get it. I've got to get the telephone engineers back in to
run a
wire
line.
a whole new thing. Yeah, it's a whole thing.
Wi-Fi. I did that myself.
Internet's not been my.
I ran a cable through 2 rooms just to have this here because the Wi-Fi would be crazy. But Royson also had a comment in his membership level.
Paulie rocking the Pink Panther look, and Mr. H looks like God of War. I wish. I need to shave my head for that again and paint myself white with is it red or black?
Red.
Is it red? Yeah.
Yep.
There you go. Yeah, you do that one day. I'm bulking up, ready for competition season. I might compete. We shall see. Anyway, talking nonsense. Thank you all so much, ladies and gents. Hope you have a great evening. Take care.
See you guys.
Bye.